found it. The most unprofessional little podcast there ever was. Ain't much else to say. Just sit back, sip on some whiskey, and be entertained. Because the Whiskey Bros are about to make love to your ears.
That doesn't look like
bread.
Definitely looks like peanut brittle.
Yeah. That does not look like bread.
No,
it's weird. Yeah, that's not bread. Have y'all ever heard of this?
I don't know what this is.
Okay. This is new to me as well. So we'll get there.
All right.
Thank you. So you didn't even make this?
No, I did not.
It definitely looks purchased.
It's definitely purchased.
Homemade stuff. So.
Man, I do not think, before we get around to our guest, we've had to wait on him for a really long freaking time, so we're going to make him wait just a little bit on us.
Before we put him on.
I think it's been before Christmas since 1, 2, 3 of us have been at this table together.
Yeah. Why is that?
Holidays, and then everybody got hit with
something.
Sickness.
Yeah.
And we're still getting hit with it. Like, you got taken out twice by the flu.
Yeah. Like, it is a freaking cesspool out there.
Dude, and you can't get away from it.
Nope. So you're probably going to get it.
This is the second go-round of something that my household has been going through. So.
Yeah. It's laid all of us out.
Yes.
You and I are trying to get through an audiobook, and, like, I sound like a whole nother person.
Yeah.
From earlier recordings because my voice, you've got voice tea here.
Well,
today,
like
so
while
we'll see
you're
how it goes.
So while your voice is different, shouldn't you take on a different character in the book and just...
Actually, we do that.
Something we should do.
That's the sick guy?
Yeah. So he's playing a redneck California meth head right now.
So you really just have to work on the meth head part then.
It's freaking good.
I've already had to play a Mexican guy, a couple of females.
Yeah.
So it's getting interesting. Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
So have you, our mystery guest, don't put him on. Have you had this? Crap.
Have I had
the sickness?
Are you down with the sickness?
I was like, you know what? I have, but I mean, I would say I got a 3 to 4 out of a 10 on it. Not bad.
Yeah.
Okay,
I was able to
bad.
function. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Yeah.
So that was nice.
You're one of those people. You're like, I just
not
I got a
normally.
light dusting of it.
Not normally. Normally it knocks me completely down. So
Okay.
I'm gonna just knock on wood.
All right, I'll knock on wood. So
yeah, since he's talking, we should just introduce him.
we do have to give him the disclaimer that we are the most unprofessional little podcast.
in the right
in case you didn't hear that in the show.
So do we want to
Thanks, Doc,
introduce?
for that.
Do we want to introduce him or him?
I don't know.
I think we introduce him first.
Put him up there first.
Ladies and gentlemen,
the one, the only,
one and only
Matt. Oh, and the screensaver pops up.
Matt,
the best barista that ever was,
and cute too. Look at that.
Boy, that's
painful.
Dude, I bet you had
Y'all
some,
did me dirty.
Yeah, you had some lib hotties that were knacking on you.
Oh man,
Just
boy.
every hottie, even the gays
I look
too.
so confused.
Yeah, you look like you identify for sure.
I bet you put a stop in that Starbucks line every morning.
You want to know? That is my apron. That is not. So back in the day when I was in school, and that's paramedic school, I worked at Starbucks.
Yeah,
Long time ago.
That's how you got by.
That's how I paid the bills.
That's how you realized what crappy coffee tasted like.
Oh man, I didn't even know what coffee was back then.
Yeah, so you learned from the dark side.
You know what? I learned how to make some sort of coffee at that time, I think. But, it was a long time ago.
Yes, sir.
Well, after 4 years of trying, we finally got you here. So thanks for being here.
This is not true. This is the first invite I've received, and I made my way over promptly.
Yeah, you shut everything down to get here today.
Yeah, exactly. Trinity Street is closed. Don't even try to go in there right now.
Shut the shop down. I got to go to the Whiskey Bros.
Don't even look in the windows.
Very grateful to be here. Long overdue.
We have a lot. We really do have a lot to talk about.
I still don't know who this guy is.
Oh, you haven't? Okay. Well,
we haven't had a proper introduction yet.
Yeah.
I thought he did introduce him. Matt Fisher.
Matt Fisher.
Matt Fisher.
Yeah.
Who is Matt Fisher?
Matt Fisher. That's him right there. That's the guy.
He's a famous local restaurateur.
I will go with local restaurateur. That's true.
Yeah, definitely the case.
So
you did cover barista, bartender, mixologist, owner, operator, manager.
Sometimes janitor.
And father.
Janitor. You had father. Yes, father's an important role.
Sometimes janitor. Sometimes firefighter.
Sometimes firefighter.
As of lately?
As of a week ago.
Designer.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit, yeah.
Connoisseur, snob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else? We got a lot of labels we can attach.
Kind of a jerk
Let's just-
sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Which way does your door swing? Like hetero or
For mine,
That's a deep question right out of the gate.
right
I mean,
out of
yeah,
the gate.
I would identify as a heterosexual male. Yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't talking about sexual. I was
Oh.
just like different types of drink or
Oh, I mean,
yeah.
Oh.
But if you're going there,
whiskey. I like it.
Yep.
I think that's kind of really how we got to know you, right? As the shop opened up, and then of course you have this guy already foaming at the mouth, window shopping.
And everybody knows he's actually the owner.
How did the
I keep
lights
trying to
stay
give him the
on?
bills though, and he just gives them back.
No, I'll just send it right back to him with my paycheck.
You give me whiskey, I will help you pay these bills.
Yes.
That is how we met, though.
Yeah,
Yes.
good whiskey, basically. And then you introduced us to a world, an unknown world to us of like, I don't even know how to sum it up, but the realm of coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
all
true.
the intricacies and the details and the universe that encompasses coffee, because it's not anything simple.
Right.
I don't
Well,
think.
and we've even talked about before y'all having a history in agriculture. I mean, it was a small bridge for your understanding, but yeah, I mean, coffee's so diverse. It was fun to share with Wise County for sure.
Yeah, and I don't think people are really conscientious of how much we depend on it on the daily. Like it's just there, right? You don't really focus on it, and you and your staff kind of taught us all the intricacies on it. Sometimes it went a little off the deep end, and we're like, okay, this coffee's just good. This one tastes like V8.
I have a different way that I think he ruined us.
Oh
on
yeah,
coffee.
there's no turning back.
No.
I remember when I first. So we're obviously talking about Trinity Street, but your venture into this began at Denton in West Oak, right?
Yeah.
And also, so was it West Oak that encompassed all the brand at the time, or did you already have Voltage?
No. So, I mean, if you go back a little further than that, it was Haiti. I was in Haiti for a while, and I was drinking coffee all the time. And I don't know what we'll get into, but long story short, coffee became kind of a vehicle for me, and then came back and was trying to figure out how to make it all make sense, how to use coffee, if you will.
Yeah.
And so we started with West Oak first a little over 10 years ago. Then we started the roasting company.
Okay.
Then we opened Kimzey's Coffee March 2017, opened Trinity Street November 2017. There's a little bit of timeline.
But that's pretty in quick order.
Yeah. And then the rest of the year is just chasing my tail.
Yeah. What sparked your passion with coffee?
Well, interestingly, I don't know, like I said, what we're going to get into, but I was a fireman for a long time. And after the big quake in Haiti, and I want to say, man, it was like 14-something years ago. It was a big quake, and I went over on a short-term trip. A lot of stuff happened on that trip. Started a nonprofit out of that to start working with college-age kids. So I was back and forth to Haiti about 10 times, had a house over there. And through that process, just did a lot of things really poorly, honestly, trying to do good things. And there's a great book called When Hoping Hurts, and I was kind of like the epitome of that.
Yeah.
But luckily through that process, kind of coffee came to the forefront. There was this guy named Crazy Tony who drove a four-wheeler around all these very small towns in Haiti, and he was a Canadian guy. He'd always bring me a bag of coffee. And I asked him one time, I'm like, why don't they sell this? Like, it seems like there's sugar and coffee. And he's like, well, there's all these issues. So down the rabbit hole I went, and on the other side of it, I was like, this seems like a really good opportunity to potentially put, I'm over here trying to help people, but I think the best way to do that is just to get out of their way and let them have an opportunity to make their own money. So long story short, as I said, that led me to coffee as an opportunity for them to create their own income. And so in order to be able to buy coffee from farmers around the world, because Haiti's not unique in the fact that where coffee grows is mostly developing or third world. And so I was like, well, if I'm going to buy coffee from them, I'm going to have a coffee company or a coffee roaster. So that's how it all started.
Okay.
Wow.
So true heart of a servant.
Look, I was trying to be helpful.
Yeah. But look what it's turned into.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what it's turned into is incredible. We work with Texas A&M, the School of Agriculture, the Borlaug Institute there. And so, I mean, yeah, it's definitely been a long journey. And I think because people do recognize there's real opportunity.
Yeah.
I mean, when these families, they've been farming for 5-6 generations and still can't send their kids to school. You know what I mean?
It's the plight of the farmer.
Well, it's by design a little bit. You know what I mean? We got to break the design.
Yeah, and even worse in third world countries. Like farmers struggle here, but it's worse in third world countries.
So why is that? Why?
Do you want the honest truth? I mean, what are we doing here?
I want the honest truth.
Okay,
I want the honest truth.
Well, I mean, how much? Listen, we don't want to pay $10, $20 for a cup of coffee. Like you just said a little bit ago, we're dependent on it every day.
Yeah.
Which is great. We just got to figure out how to participate with that in a different way. So if we start to pay those farmers a lot of money, right? Cost of our coffee goes up significantly because the entire supply chain all has to get paid.
Yeah.
So, for better or worse, everybody does better if those farmers stay in poverty.
Gotcha.
So
the system
is rigged.
Yeah, the system engineers itself towards the consumer because that's where the cash is.
Sure.
Right.
But in those countries, you also have like infrastructure issues you don't have here. You don't
100%.
Transportation is not reliable. Ingress and egress is harder to come around. You don't have paved roads everywhere, right?
Well, I mean, just readily available education.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not here to say all the coffee companies are, wicked and evil. I'm just saying you got a broken system completely.
Yeah. So my little dive into sales and learning about that realm and what it takes to get product A from production company A into the hands of retail sales. There's a lot of middlemen.
There's
a lot of middlemen, and they take the bulk of it.
Well, and that ultimately gets passed on to the consumer. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Wow.
So,
that's interesting. But you're looking, just like with avocados, just like with chocolate, with the case of coffee, you're looking at a product that primarily grows in third world countries, and it's primarily consumed in the developed world.
100%, yeah.
And so there's something about that structure that yields itself to unbalance, non-balance, I don't know what you call it.
No, you're absolutely right. What's interesting is most of the farmers don't even get to drink their own coffee. When you go to these countries, you would expect coffee everywhere. It's really not. Ironically, I was at a farm in Colombia one time. We couldn't even make coffee on a coffee farm. It was so funny. I'm like,
it's too expensive to have on premises.
But I mean, it's just that's their revenue.
It is Colombia too. They have other means of energy.
But it's the same with cocaine.
Yeah, you don't get high on your own supply.
Yeah, bro. It's the same with cocaine.
There's probably something to that.
Is that stigma? Is that stigma still around with Colombia, or have those days kind of been?
I mean, shows like Narcos probably don't help.
They reinvigorate it.
And with all the honesty in my heart, I'm a kid of the 80s and early 90s, and so it's like, you hear Bogota and you're like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I absolutely love Bogota. I was walking around Bogota by myself on multiple occasions.
Okay.
I mean, like anywhere, if you want to find trouble, you'll find it. It's a beautiful city, and hey, for anybody that wants to go. It's beautiful.
Okay, right on. So your mission or your agenda was pair with the farmers, bring their product to your shelves, and then how do you grow from there?
Well, I mean, interestingly, it's a much harder journey than I would have expected. So what you just said a little bit ago is kind of what I'm after. If I work directly with the farmers and create the infrastructure, then I can cut out a lot of the middleman. Because what I can't do is ask everybody to just lovingly pay $10 for coffee because it's, going to help people. We'll kill our own industry. Yeah. So what my interest is, if I work directly with the farmers and I get really involved and I can ship the coffee over by my own means and then cut out a lot of that cost so my end consumer's happy and my farmer's happy. That just takes a whole lot more effort.
Yeah. And when you hear the term middleman, I also hear the echo of lobbyists. And they have the power and the means to position themselves through government affairs into your business, whether you like it or not. So with coffee, I know with alcohol is one thing, but with coffee, can you essentially genuinely cut out the middleman? Can you go bring 1,000 tons of coffee back?
Oh yeah, for sure,
and put it directly on your shelf from a farm if you had that capability?
No, and I mean we have. The interesting thing is, look, this is you're trying to build a new thing, right? And so we knew that it was going to be risky, and I think on a friend level, we talked about kind of what happened last year, and yeah, that's exactly what we've done. Primarily in some countries in Africa, and it's risky. I had all my coffee, 35,000 pounds, and a whole bunch of money stolen. You know what I mean? And so that's the risk of these things, and it's hard to get salty about it. But until we kind of figure it out and do it a few times, and more than anything, become trustworthy. In these countries with these partners, then it's going to be hard. And I think that's why a lot of people don't do it. It's less risky to just pay all the middlemen because there comes a level of insurance with it.
Sure.
But again, it's not the end mission because the farmers aren't,
they're not benefiting. They're still being exploited. So you need to serve as your own boots on the ground and provide for these farmers a security of, I'm here to benefit you and not
and that takes
exploit
trust.
You. Yeah.
Well,
and
because
time.
But because why though? Because they've had 20 people come around and say, "Hey, I'm here to help you," and then they get totally jacked.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And so it's really hard to start pointing fingers, and it takes time. You know. So, I mean, that's the only way to do that though is to be consistent, show back up. And that's
traditionally that has happened from white man, right?
Well, I mean, yeah.
So you also have that barrier to overcome of showing up and being the white savior.
Oh, of course.
Which
of course.
Also,
that's a bold. I mean,
but it's a thing.
Like, he's just saying it bluntly.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a real thing. Like they have to not only understand that he's there to help them, benefit financially from the work and the thing they produce, but that he's also there not to just lie to them.
But I'm also not mad at it.
I think what you're saying is Matt Fisher is the coffee Jesus.
Please don't. Please no.
No, I think you
coffee
have.
Jesus.
But I get what he's saying. You have to overcome. That label you take to these
you
communities.
Can't get mad. You can't listen.
Yeah.
That is an earned label. There's a reason for stereotypes, right? We may not like it, but I can't go over there and be upset because I was done wrong because the last 100 years they've been done wrong so many times. It's not even funny. And so it's more just like you kind of got to accept reality. You got to keep going. Yeah. You got to figure out what's next. And so, that's where I'm at right now. It would have been real easy to go, you know what? I'm done with this part of it. I'm going to buy coffee in a different way. But it's not why we started the company. It's not what we do.
And what year, again, remind me what year that was when you started?
2014.
Your first I'm guessing it was a handshake deal down there,
for
right?
sure, yeah.
I want to buy your coffee. It's really great.
Yep.
Take and put them. So here we are, 11 years later.
Mm-hmm.
How many farms and how many countries are you involved with now?
Oh, I couldn't answer that offhand. I was trying to think about that a couple of weeks ago. We probably operate in. Well, I've been to a bunch, but I would say we operate in about 6 or 7 countries.
That's incredible. And that's in within a decade. That's a goddamn huge milestone.
Yeah,
how many people can say that they work outside of the United States? Period. And much less add almost a dozen or a half a dozen countries onto their repertoire.
Well, what I would say is why it's different, because a lot of people, they travel, but the difference is I try to hit the ground. Mm-hmm. I need a contact, and then I try to find a van or a driver, and then we go. Okay. You know what I mean? And you just have to, literally, it's like you take your one contact, they introduce you to someone, you go there, they introduce you to someone, and hopefully you end up, finding the right connection.
Okay.
I would love to say it's all been wonderful, but I mean, because of what we were just discussing, I would say, half have worked out on some level. The other half, hard lessons.
That's the entrepreneurial part of you.
Well,
the ability to take the risk. Not everything's going to be a winner.
Not everything's going to be a winner. And, in this, we're super, super lucky and blessed to be here a decade later, still trying to do it, considering, I'm headed to Mexico on Saturday, and it's the same thing.
Oh, we know. You're always gone. We know.
It's interesting, though, you know?
Hey, Matt, I have this $1,500 bottle of whiskey. I've been waiting to sit down with you. You're gone? Okay, all right. We'll try again next week.
No, but it's, so like this Mexico trip.
Yeah.
You have a contact, but it's really just a shot in the dark. You're going to fly in. You're going to meet up with your contact, and then
we're going to go.
Y'all are just going to go.
Right.
Try to find coffee farmers.
Right. So the connection that we do have is in coffee. So, I mean, it's, that's definitely helpful. But I've never been to this region. I'm headed to Chiapas.
Okay.
And so I have been to Oaxaca and obviously dealt with Mexican coffee in the past. It's absolutely amazing. But we'll be down in San Cristobal. And so I'm really, really excited. I've been all over Guatemala, and this is down near the Guatemalan border. I'm kind of familiar with the area, but definitely excited to meet new people. And why, though, is one, it's how we do things, but two, I've kind of informed y'all a little bit, but the coffee market right now is having a historic moment. We'll just call it that. Higher than it's ever been, and its ascent over the last 6 months is unprecedented.
Why is that?
Well, I have my opinions. But it's very interesting because I can't answer that confidently. Okay. Usually I feel pretty good. And they're saying, well, it's the tariffs. Well, I mean, it was already on its rise before the election. Yeah. And so maybe that's influencing some of it. But I was telling the guys I'll be in Brazil in July, and where we buy coffee, there's Minas Gerais. I hope I'm saying that to all my Brazilian friends. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong, but we're reading about the shortfall in coffee in that region. We've been dealing with a husband and wife farmer there for several years, and I'm in contact with Natalia regularly, and she's like, everything's great. And so I'm like, it's not what I'm reading. She's like, well, it's great.
Wow, that's interesting.
So, yeah, I mean, but it's a small sample. But maybe it's accurate, maybe it's not. I don't know.
So this is market speculation.
Always. Well, it's traded on futures, so all we can do is guess, right?
But I was surprised when we had that conversation talking about the T word, tariffs. I knew that, from some avenues, supply chains coming in from the certain countries that had these tariffs attached to them, but it was market wide. It didn't matter where it come from. It was like, well, if they're going to get X amount over here and have to be taxed this much, well, then all of it now costs.
So where's the bottleneck in the coffee market? Like who are the companies that distribute to Nestle, Folgers, Starbucks? Right. It's probably the same supplier.
Well, you have brokerages. Right? You have brokerages, and so in Seattle, different places, I've been exposed to kind of larger scale coffee buying. Obviously, I'm a minnow in a mud puddle. When it comes to the coffee industry, but I've listened a lot, and it's brokerages. Basically, these companies are hiring green buyers and brokerage firms.
Wow.
Usually, they buy on futures and they'll lock in for a significant amount of time based on that coffee market price. Well, right now, no one's locking in anything when it's more than double.
Wow.
More than double, yeah. So, it's a business like anything else. They drink coffee all over the world. And so I think it's the 4th highest traded agricultural commodity in the world, something like this. It kind of moves between 3 and 4.
Marijuana is number 1.
I mean, but that's on the down low.
That's a different market.
Yeah.
That has always been the thing, is like the biggest cash crop is you're talking weed.
But really, corn.
Yeah.
Corn.
Yeah, I mean, it's everywhere. Wheat.
Soy.
Yeah. So you've got some of the big movers internationally, but coffee's right up there. I mean, you drink water, you drink tea, you drink coffee around the world.
Pretty much.
And that's really it. And so we're talking about billions, trillions of dollars. And so, again, we're not going to mention any names, but giant coffee companies, they have to continue to remain in existence and not charge $6, $7, $8 for a latte.
Yeah.
So, it's getting kind of...
They're trading on volume.
They have to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it's an interesting business.
Wow.
$6, $7, $8 a latte. Have you not bought a latte from these big food chains lately?
And interestingly enough, I don't, because I'm busy.
You have your own.
I drink my own.
You,
but really, in all honesty,
that's about normal now, though. $6, $7, $8 for a latte.
But for how long? You know what I mean? And do you like paying $8 for a latte?
Hell no.
That's why you don't.
Come on.
No.
I just hand them my card and I don't even know what it costs.
But eventually we all will.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We'll
become acutely aware.
Yeah.
As prices of everything rises. Mm-hmm. And so, there's a interesting moment right now in our industry that we're flexing on how much people are willing to be involved with this. You know what I mean? And but that's honestly why our company is taking a completely different approach. Mm-hmm. Really, I mean, we call it full farm representation. I try to buy coffee from the farmer, whatever they're producing, whether it's really nice high-end stuff or commodity level coffee. But this is how I feel. The regular consumer wants a really good cup of coffee that's been sourced ethically and roasted well, has no mold or junk in it, and they want to get it at a good price.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's really that simple. They don't want a 95-point coffee to drink every day that costs $50 a pound, and they don't want some crap that makes them feel terrible and tastes like an ashtray.
Mm-hmm. Which most of the people would assume is what they think is good coffee until somebody enters your little fray and is like, it disrupts everything you think you know. And it
we definitely
a while.
Want to be disruptors. There's no doubt. That is a moniker that I would wear proudly.
It did take a while. I mean, I remember the first coffees I had at West Oak, I was like, it's not doing it for me. I don't understand this. And then over time, and then talking with baristas and talking with you, it's like, it was the moment of discovery. It was the epiphany. Same thing with whiskey.
Sure.
When you have the one good one and you're like, yeah. And then everything else tastes like shit now. Before.
Yeah, absolutely. Truly.
You go back to the big, the F brand, MH.
Yeah.
I don't
know why you can't say it.
Folgers and Maxwell House.
Why can't you say that?
Yeah.
I mean,
or Starbucks,
which I still drink.
I mean, hell,
Folgers
let's say it
daily.
Let's say
by
it.
the way.
Yeah.
Well, interestingly enough,
it just sucks now. They don't take, and especially the worst offender, Keurig.
Oh,
Keurig is.
I can't stand Keurigs.
It is like.
Hey, we value our convenience above all else.
Yeah,
that's a valid point.
Which may be what the worst. That might be what's wrong with us.
I'm telling you,
we're too convenience focused.
We're too late. We're just too lazy.
Not only that, but I mean, we're in a right now society.
Yeah.
Keurig is an example. And that's what I said, a lot of what we're trying to do is get people to slow down a little bit.
Bingo. That was my statement about the biggest virtue of your local coffee shop. You step in and time should slow down just a little bit.
Yeah.
Take in your surroundings, take in the coffee, take in the whiskey, and just set yourself in the
Trinity
moment.
Street employees, if you're listening to him, not my order.
Don't slow that down.
Should not.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you slow down and enjoy the experience.
I want your heart rate to drop like 20 beats when you walk in.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll work on that. That'll help. The whiskey will help with that. I don't know about the coffee though.
But I mean the environment. Like think about it. If you're sitting in traffic or you're just going through your day to day and you're checking your phone and all this stuff, we're like wound up.
Yes.
We're just wound tight.
Yeah.
And we don't even realize it. And it's like people, the Apple Watch. I think so many people, I don't even wear a watch, but I see all the time like, man, my heart rate's super high.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's probably a good indicator to slow down.
Your lifestyle.
It is so interesting. Now, okay, so if you had to guess, just being at Trinity Street, hours on end, how many people, what portion of people come in and get their coffee to go versus drinks their coffee there versus drinks their coffee there and just sits there and just looks at the phone while they're, it's
well, you're scraping up against a couple of different things on that one, Doc. But I mean, one, it's so funny to own a restaurant. And I will say this doesn't happen often in Decatur, which makes me really happy. But you definitely get those families where they sit down together and there's like 2 iPads and 2 phones and 7 words. And I'm like, look, if that's the space in life that you're in, okay.
You can't
but
judge
maybe,
people.
No, you can't. No, absolutely not.
Right.
But I'm saying,
Agreed.
You totally can judge people.
Okay.
Well,
that's what's wrong with us also is we quit judging people.
Yes.
Well,
now everyone's feelings get hurt.
My hope is to create an environment where they kind of look around like, hey, all right, we can maybe have a little conversation tonight.
Yeah.
It's chill here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But as far as the people that come in, everybody has a different agenda. And I think that's what's so cool. Whether it's a business meeting or Heath every morning just getting his day started, saying hi and checking in. I need to be in and out in 5 seconds. I have a buddy who owns a very busy coffee 5 of them in Dallas, and their whole deal is to go coffee. They have very few. They have very few. But what's interesting to me about it's LDU coffee. Everybody go drink LDU coffee whenever you're in Dallas. But what's interesting is the sense of community that they've created in Dallas, even in a to-go type market. I'm like, there are a couple Australian brothers that are just as laid back as it gets. And somehow or another, even in that environment, they've figured out, which is why I think we're all searching for something to slow the madness down every day.
A happy distraction somehow.
Yeah. And I think that coffee and its different manifestations offers that, which is ironic because it keeps us awake. But we all, I went to a deal the other day and really amazing guy named Omar. He's Egyptian. He owns a coffee company in Cairo. And he was kind of talking to a group of people, and he said, it's so cool because anywhere you go in the world, coffee brings people together. You can sit and you can meet someone, hey, let's meet over coffee. And it's kind of an unspoken thing. I mean, I met y'all over a cup of coffee at the end of the day. And I think that it's just this great equalizer that helps, again, ironically, because it's so full of caffeine, but helps us slow down.
Coffee and barbecues.
Oh, that's interesting.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah.
So I can see.
Power.
Hey, there's 3 of you guys in here.
Again, we reiterate, unprofessional podcaster.
So wait a minute. Speaking of Egyptian coffee, is that where they heat it up in the sand? Have you had this?
Oh, my God.
This?
Well, that's Turkish coffee.
Is it Turkish coffee?
But it is so amazing. Yes.
So I need to go, next time you go to Turkish.
Dude. It's delicious.
I'm going with you.
The country is not called Turkish,
it's
by
good
the way.
enough.
I have been to Istanbul. I have been to Istanbul, and I would tell you, if ever given the chance, drink it immediately, if not sooner.
Yeah.
Turkish-style coffee.
Yeah.
They also do it in the mocha pot.
Is that available?
Is there nowhere
Can
around,
you get that
is there nowhere around here?
Yes. Well, okay, so in the Dallas area, there are several really good...
Dallas word.
Well,
could have traveled to the big D.
Listen, it is what it is, and they have amazing Middle Eastern restaurants all over that area with traditional Turkish coffee, and
where they heat it in the sand.
Yeah, somewhere where they heat it in the sand. Yeah.
Wow. Nice. I need to do that.
Have you never had it, Doc?
Never had it.
Oh my gosh! So the sand is hot, right? And then they just the whole thing is very romantic.
Make a little.
Yes. No, it's like
it's in a silver
pot or whatever you want to call it.
And then the heat. Oh my gosh!
The sand
super
actually
thick.
they roll it around in the sand and it actually heats it up and then they pour it in your glass. And it looks amazing. That's why I was asking you.
Yeah.
I have a very good friend who's Turkish, and she makes the very, very best. In her shop in LA, it's a clothing mercantile store, but she makes that for her guests, and it's incredible. Check out Oddbird Company.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Man, so, we need to get somebody.
Shameless plug.
We need to get somebody to Trinity Street to do that.
Especially
100% would love for that to happen. I've actually been looking for that to happen. I would love to do our coffee. Yes, 100%. And if any of you know or are interested in doing that, holler at the boys.
Yeah. Call the dock line.
Yes.
I don't even remember the number.
So my tendency is to pick that apart scientifically as to why that method of conduction would make better coffee. But
I mean, Turkish coffee is ground super fine. And so at the end of the day, coffee is just a whole bunch of science. And so when you grind it really fine and you put the water, now they also put, forgive me if I'm wrong, but a lot will put sugar with it as they're cooking it down. And I mean, it's so different than what you're used to. You know what I mean?
I just need to go try it.
Oh, immediately.
I'm guessing that's going to be somewhere similar to a French press. That's probably
even thicker. Even thicker. Yeah.
Wow.
So
motor oil.
Think more espresso shot, honestly.
That's what I'm liking.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Or like a Cubano. Have you ever had? Oh my gosh.
No,
I could drink 20 when I go through.
That's your favorite.
You know it is.
Yeah.
I want to switch here real fast, just quickly.
Sure.
Okay, so what I know about Mexico, yes, thank you. Yes. What I know about Mexico doesn't make me very safe, like traveling in Mexico. How do you do with that? Or is it a myth?
I'm so glad you
Matt's
said that.
Matt's a lot less white than you are, though. So.
Here's the thing.
Yeah, well,
you want to know? Listen, again, legitimately thank you, because I get asked all the time. Like, I get warnings everywhere I go, because you have to, hey, and I think that, I think you just have to have a realistic expectation, right? And so I started in Haiti, in Port-au-Prince. And so now, honestly, it'd be harder to go back. And I have some friends who are still very involved in living. And, when you're overrun with gang activity, it's dangerous. But I've been to the Congo, you know what I mean? And that was very, very dangerous. I've been to a lot of dangerous places from what we understand dangerous to be. So like you said, I have a perception of Mexico that's been curated through whatever intake you have that I would challenge. Man, the people, the culture, everywhere I've been is so hospitable and beautiful and amazing. I've always said this, you can find trouble if you want to anywhere. Go to Fort Worth, go to Dallas. You can find trouble here in Wise County if you want to. But
Chico.
if you
sometimes you feel like you're just walking into a meth lab.
I'm telling you, but it's everywhere, right? It's wherever you have people. And it hurts my heart because I hear that, I'm like, I'd never go there. Yeah. And I'm like, why? Get on a plane and go somewhere. We all love Anthony Bourdain here. We've had a lot of conversations about that.
Yeah. But when's the last time you've heard, don't go to Dallas?
Sure.
Because you may get thrown in a 55-gallon barrel full of acid and never seen again.
Yeah, but you don't, that doesn't pass my bullshit detector. Sure. Yeah, it's like, I'm Dallas. I was there last week, It's like, you could go find the guy who has the 55-gallon barrel in Dallas, but
and you can end up
probably
in it.
Not going to.
Probably through a series of bad choices.
Probably. But I think it's just easier there over in those neck of the woods than in our neck of the woods.
Well, and I always tell people, and they say, I've been to Mexico, and that's great. Listen, the resorts are great. You know what I mean? They're great. I'm not knocking them, but I'm just saying,
it's different.
Get off the beaten path a little bit.
Yeah.
And you will
be a tourist.
Don't, my man. Be a traveler. Yeah. And that takes a little bit of risk. People tell me all the time, again, like, man, I don't know if I'd ever do that. And I'm like,
then you won't. If you say you won't, then you won't.
Truly. But, I think that if you're willing and up for an adventure, you'll find a lot of gold in them hills.
Yeah. How do you do that for the non-initiated? As far as you just get online, find a Airbnb. I hate to, or do you make a contact in a place that's not a touristy?
You're talking about for just everyday guy?
Yeah.
Listen, you got to do some research up front. It's like being wise. You know what I mean? The wisdom, it comes in, you know what I mean? Like I said, if you don't look into it a little bit and do some research, you can end up in a bad situation. But there's with the interwebs these days, you can pretty much find anything. But for me, I always tell people, like, if you want to try something kind of safe and kind of interesting and break the seal a little bit, go to Antigua, Guatemala.
Okay.
So it's a direct flight. It's less than 3 hours. It's shorter than flying to LA or New York, and you hit the ground and everything is super safe, and you land in Guatemala City, you can get a car, no problem, go to Antigua and just stay in one spot, walk around, and you'll kind of feel that culture, that immersion, and then a lot of the demons that you kind of have built up will go away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man.
I've noticed that every time. It doesn't matter where I'm traveling. It's just everything that you've already imagined having to deal with, even just airline travel. Like, you dread it before you even get, and then you do it, and you're like, okay, it wasn't too bad.
It wasn't too bad.
And you go, okay, this wasn't too bad. Yeah.
And some people just aren't interested in traveling, which I understand. That's fine. We're all wired up a little bit different.
Yeah,
but
we got to get out of our shell, though.
Man, but why? Perspective.
Yeah.
Perspective is radically changed and that's what has been so eye-opening for me, is everywhere I go, every conversation I have, every table I sit at, I learn something new.
Yeah.
And what I learned more than anything else is I don't know a damn thing.
It comes with age, right? Like the older I get, the less I know.
Oh, well, you just become more acutely aware of what you don't know.
I know
you didn't know it before.
Fucking douchebags. Yeah. Huh? I know some old douchebags who think they know everything.
Oh, yeah, those people still exist. Yeah.
Which, interestingly, they don't know anything.
They don't know shit. Those are the dumbest mofos out there. Can we talk more about the farming process?
We can talk about anything you want.
Oh, well, okay then. I have a few extra notes we did not add. No. when you go to these farms and
Sure.
you're looking to establish a relationship and the business model with them, what are you looking for as far as the layout of the farm, the quality of the coffee? What exactly are you going for to make you understand, or to make you think, I'm going to shake this man's hand and do business with him here henceforth?
Yeah, absolutely. Opportunity.
Okay.
An opportunity from a farmer that's willing to be a good partner and listen, and you can see that right away.
Yeah.
Ones that are looking for an opportunity and have been working really hard.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the land. I'm looking to see what they have, and I'm looking to see what they've been doing. Interestingly enough, we work with kind of the gambit from full tilt farms that have been operational for multiple generations, have their own mills. The whole infrastructure is there.
Okay.
And then on the other hand, we deal with small farmers who own 1 to 2 acres. And when you get there, it's extremely humbling, because you get on this farm where it's, again, 4th, 5th generation, and their plants, their coffee plants, are way overgrown. And it's interesting to tell them, like, hey, you've got to prune your plants.
Yeah.
Because, for these farmers, it's, if I cut them, then I won't have any yield.
I'm losing production.
I'm losing production, so then I'll have nothing. The very concept of tending your plants is just been never taught to them.
There, yeah.
And it's truly an unknown.
So if you didn't show up, how would they be selling their product? What are they?
So what happens, and they're called different things everywhere. They're called coyotes in Central America and everything. Really, a truck, and very different variations of trucks drive around. They honk, you come out, and you get whatever they give you, and that's a long, deep rabbit hole on where those trucks are going.
That's what
who's giving those trucks the money.
Yeah.
And so when I go to these countries, the first question I ask is, who am I pissing off?
Yeah.
Who am I making very angry?
Some people that are doing deals on the Silk Road, those types.
Well, what's interesting is, how do we circumvent of the C market, right?
Yeah.
How do you do that? Well, if you buy from a mill, if you're a big entity and you buy from a mill, you have no idea how the coffee got to the mill, right?
Sure.
So now I'm making the deal here. Well, the deal was
the guy at the
deal
mill
was made
knows.
before that.
Yeah.
Maybe, probably, in my experience, probably. Yeah. But interestingly enough, that's how we get around things.
Okay.
Not we, the collective we.
So do you have farms that only sell to y'all?
It's terrible.
We try not to, just because, we want them selling. I'm trying to think if we have any producers that.
Yeah.
No. I would say we have some that we've purchased the majority of it, but not all of it. Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't let it rise long enough, so it's literally like a brick.
We're eating some of Doc's bread again, but you got to feel this, even if you don't want it.
It looks like you could assault somebody with that.
It is a brick.
Yeah, I made it.
You want to hold his buns?
It's warm. You know what?
It's awful. Sorry.
Listen, I have a horrible thing where I have to try everything.
I think it's all right. Good bread.
Oh, the flavor's definitely there.
I know
Flavor's
people. I know people love listening when we're eating.
I know it sounds like shit.
This is what happens whenever you like.
It's no different than real life. Come on.
Oh, it's true.
There's no pretending here, Heath.
Yeah.
You gotta let your bread rise, or it's like this.
Yes.
Yeah, it's good and salty though.
So how do you get it from said farm to Decatur, Texas?
Right. Well, I have a good buddy who worked with us for a while and still does kind of informally. That his name's Brian Brewer, and he was over in Laos for
I can't hear you because of all the smacking going on.
8
right
to
now.
9 to 10 years over there. Honestly, building up a kind of infrastructure and coffee farming and export over in Laos, and so he has a lot of knowledge. He's been very helpful, but at the end of the day, it's just phone calls and connections, and so you've got to figure out. Stuff is being shipped all the time, right? Port to port.
Well, yeah, but I've met everybody at the shop.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing it ships into DFW?
It ships into Houston.
Oh, okay.
So you got to go into a port. Most of the
by
time.
ship.
So ship, you're getting
literally by ship.
Oh,
You're
wow.
not flying that much coffee.
Okay.
Point of reference, I needed to fly some coffee over to Uganda. and it cost me $300 to send 2 pounds of coffee.
Yeah.
Via air. $300. So
via plane?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's not advisable.
Yeah, no.
So everything comes in. Most of the time it comes in through Oakland. It comes in through New Jersey, or it comes in through Houston most of the time. Coffee does. And so what we try to do is get it all shipped to Houston, because that way I don't pay $1,000 per pallet in shipping from either Jersey or Northern California.
Mm-hmm. So how are you getting it from port to Decatur?
So it depends on which country we're exporting from. But what we do is there are companies who, what they do is ship. They don't care what you're shipping. And so if you can circumvent all the political red tape, you're just paying someone to ship something. Mm-hmm. And that's what we try to do. I'm trying to put my foot in the door here. I may come at you. You need to come to the table with a lot of money and a big boat.
No. I'm talking about from Houston to Decatur.
A big truck.
Oh, a driving? Oh,
Yeah.
I would be ecstatic to pay you. So happy to pay you.
So we need to go get that refrigerated trailer then?
No, it's not even
coffee,
refrigerated.
You don't even have to keep it refrigerated?
No, it's coffee bean. It's raw coffee and whole coffee beans.
And we put it in a it's called a Grain Pro bag.
Yeah.
And so, those green bags that you can put your veggies in the refrigerator, keeps them better longer.
Basically
and
a
all
box
that stuff.
trailer, we're done.
Yeah, I mean, sure. Yeah, he's right. And interestingly, the cost of shipping has gone up exponentially.
Oh, I know. That's why I'm saying.
Yeah.
How many pounds?
We may have to talk afterwards.
How many pounds
talk
or
right now.
tons are you bringing in a month?
Ooh, a month.
Because I don't know if you know this, but the Whiskey Bros just started 2 days ago.
Shipping company?
Whiskey Bros Shipping Company.
I will happily sign the dotted line.
It's called U-Haul.
I feel like my bank account just got a little bit lighter.
No, it's
You
called-
ever notice he's good at spending other people's money? Have you noticed that?
It's called Overton Farms, bro. I'm real good spending his money.
Somebody's got to.
Yeah, somebody's got to.
But interestingly, it's a real challenge. I've paid like $600-700 for a pallet, and I've spent $800 to ship 17,000 pounds all at once. You know what I mean? It's just so. How much do we do in a month? I'm trying to think. Maybe 3 tons.
Okay.
Is that all
God, that's
three?
a lot of coffee.
That is a lot of
all three
coffee.
shops.
Well, yeah, but I mean, we sell coffee to other companies as well.
Right.
So you've got your Voltage brand established, which handles the coffee and the roasting.
Yeah.
You're bringing it from Houston. Is the roasting
That all happens in Decatur.
all done in Decatur? now?
Yeah,
There's-
it's all in
okay.
Decatur,
It's
yeah.
all in Decatur.
Because it's the
In our
mothership
warehouse
now,
there.
correct?
It is.
So tell us a little bit about how did you come from Denton? How did you get to Decatur with that? What was
Interestingly enough, I was just having this chat the other day. So, it was really cool. We were approached after West Oak, from a lot of different people. Hey, it seems like you guys kind of opened up a cool coffee shop. Maybe you want to open one up. And long story short, I'm sure y'all at some point have run into Mark Moran around town.
Never met that guy once.
But he honestly, he approached me through some friends of Hayhurst, and this was quite a while ago. And he said, "Hey, I really like you guys to, I've invested in this town, Decatur." And I said, "Where? What state are we talking about?" And he said, "No, Decatur. It's just a little bit west of you." And very honestly, I had heard of Decatur, obviously, but knew nothing of it. And came out, started looking around a little bit, and I said, "Yeah, I don't know. This is an old donut shop. It needs a lot of work." And Mark very kindly was persistent. He was persistent. And he literally gave me an amazing opportunity and deal, one I'm really grateful for. And so we decided to go all in. And then through that process, ironically, I kind of really, really fell in love with the area. And so,
That was
ended
like
up
the
moving out here.
day after you met me, right?
It was the day I met you,
Yeah,
actually.
I figured
I
that
think
had
we
to-
I
all
don't want to seem a little
We all showed up in the
aggressive,
shop together. It wasn't just you. In like November 2017, we all walked through those doors together.
You can keep saying that.
No, we did.
I was literally there before the doors opened.
So are we. We were on the way, to build a table with some wood that was milled from the
No,
farm.
no,
How was that?
Where's that wood at?
That was not the first
Yeah.
day, bro.
And we stopped in for
It's
coffee.
funny how
We still
all
don't have
stories
that.
collapse into the same story.
Yeah. And how
That's
they
a
grow
feature.
as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
As long as you have like 7% of the original truth, you're good.
No,
You're good.
y'all had a pre-open party.
We did.
Yeah, that's what they don't know about.
Oh. Well,
Why don't we know about that, Matt?
You know what?
You didn't get the invite, bro.
Somebody didn't do their job.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, didn't get the invite.
He was already on the employment roster, wasn't he?
Well, you guys have been on the employment roster as security. Do not forget that.
That's true. That's true.
So we, through that process, fell in love with the town, with the community, and super grateful for everything that's happened since then. Honestly, life-changing, moving to Decatur in a really beautiful way.
Yes, it's been awesome. It's been
Okay,
great.
y'all have to try this. This is going around. My wife got this off some lady's porch.
Oh, I feel real safe.
Yeah, seriously.
Chance, do me a favor and get some of that first.
Like she just stole it off some lady's porch?
No, so
Hang on, I'm trying to read
apparently
what it
this is a lady in Decatur.
Oh,
Thank you
and
for
she
your
makes
order.
this
Your
Dubai
support,
bar.
of course.
Have you ever heard of a Dubai bar?
Dubai, like as in the
Dubai?
place?
Yeah. So
I'm
it's
headed
this,
there soon.
It's this new bougie way to do a candy bar.
Okay.
Oh my God, that tastes like a big Kit Kat.
So
I love Kit
some
Kats.
lady in Decatur is making Dubai bars, and she puts it out on her front porch. And then you Venmo her the money for it.
Yeah, I'm
It's,
not all about eating on the podcast, but that's goddamn amazing.
This is phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's like a Kit Kat with the old school wafers.
Shout out to Sid's Sweets.
Sid's Sweets.
Sid's Sweets.
in Decatur. I don't know anything about this lady.
Oh my gosh.
No, there's something in
I
there
know
I'm tasting.
nothing
I don't
about
know what
this
that
lady.
is.
I
but
thought that this was my old address, and I'm not entirely sure that it's not. Heath, what was my old address on Cowan?
up there by.
It's getting a
up
little
there
creepy
by,
now.
That's
Up there by Brahms.
Yeah, right behind it.
Yeah, Rock House.
I'm not entirely certain that this wasn't manufactured in the house we
Your old
lived in
house?
for a little while.
Doc, I love you and I love salt. But this bread is some
It's
salty
overloaded.
shit, bro.
good to know.
I mean, I love salt, but
Yeah.
that's salty.
Yeah. So this is.
That's delicious.
So we need to do.
That's good.
I'm
So
going to
good.
do some homework on this lady.
Yeah, you need to do a lot more homework.
Sid.
Get a lot more of that.
I feel like no homework is necessary. Just order more.
Yeah.
That's what I meant by homework.
I don't-
Get more stuff from her.
So apparently she puts it out there, and then like the
honor
people,
system style?
Wait,
Yeah,
I
it's
legitimately feel like this was my old house, guys.
Yeah.
I'm almost positive.
You have see if there's a fridge on the porch.
South
it probably
Cowan.
is.
What's the address?
505.
Can we say this on here?
But she
I mean, it was his
sells
address.
out.
Yeah, and I guess people are picking them up off her porch.
So people know when she's going to put stuff in her fridge.
This is sad, y'all. I've only lived in my current house for like 5 years, and I can't remember
the
my
old
last
address?
address.
Yeah, it happens.
It does happen.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm gonna have some more of that.
I don't know what that says.
Okay. So this will be next, but
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, so back to your
So,
brand
Matt,
of coffee.
you're exactly right. It is your old house. I'm
It's-
looking at the picture of it.
I'll be damned.
What?
I told you.
Oh, dude, this
Yeah.
is crazy.
Because look, there's the garage.
Oh my gosh.
What do you? What did you call this? A moment of serendipity?
Sometimes things just are.
No, it's synchronicitous.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a good word.
synchronicity.
Yeah, I don't know what
Young.
the
It's a Carl Young.
What'd you
know,
say
reference?
the bidet?
Yes.
What was
Du-
it?
Dubai.
Dubai.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not bidet. Not
The
bidet.
bidet. I don't know what
Dubai.
I don't know what the
bidet bar.
bar was, but it was good.
Dubai.
Yeah.
No, I've only flown through Dubai. I'm headed to Dubai here in November. I'm excited about that.
Coffee
Look,
relating or
there's-
vacation?
There's gold
No, no, no.
flakes. There's gold
Vacation.
flakes on there.
Hold on. What does that word mean? Vacation. What's that all about?
Yeah,
Tell
what
me
is
more.
that?
No, I'm headed over there on my way to Yemen. First time to Yemen.
Okay, so it's a transitory.
Yeah. It's an
Okay.
in between.
This is nuts.
So you're bringing
Nuts.
coffee back for sure from the Yemens, right?
I'm working on it. That's going to be a bit of a process, but yes.
Do Chadgians do they make coffee?
Chad?
In Chad, I believe they have some Robusta coffee, but I'm not entirely sure. I've never had
in
any
touch
from
with Ruben
there.
on
Hey,
that.
I got a hookup for you.
Yeah, I was
You need
gonna
to
say.
Yeah. Oh, Ruben. Love Ruben.
Well,
He brought us these things, Matt. You got to check this thing out. So his brother still is over
You
there.
got a knife over there? I bet you it's a knife.
It is
It's
a
a
knife.
knife.
But he, so we had Ruben on. It was a good buddy of ours. He's from Chad, and his brother lives over there. So
He might be a good
It's
contact.
beautiful.
Well, that's what I told
beautiful.
you. Check that
Yeah.
out. Pull that thing out.
I would love to.
He's connected with people over there.
and if you want to start a coup over there,
Yeah, if you
he'll
want to
be
start
your
a coup,
man.
he
Okay,
knows-
so what's
he knows
not
how.
funny about what you just said is, do you have time for a
Yeah, we got
30
time.
seconds?
Oh,
We
yeah.
have
yeah,
all the
we
time
got-
in the
We
world.
got all the time.
So we go over to Congo,
Who wants to fish this up?
and as I said, there were 3 others with me, so all of it is corroborated, if you will. This is beautiful.
Yeah, no, right?
Can I have this?
Smell it.
No.
Oh, well, it was worth it.
I have one that you can't have. It's mine, but I will give it to you.
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
These are beautiful. So we go to Congo, and we meet with the the Minister of Agriculture at the White House in the morning. You've heard this. You've heard this. Well, do you want me to? Should I or no?
No.
Okay.
Go ahead, yeah.
So we meet with the Minister of Agriculture at the White House in the morning. No place like Congo, by the way. Beautiful country, full of resources, massive, very interesting. So then, great meeting, very pleasant man, big room. And we just kind of chat a little bit. And then we meet with the other Minister of Agriculture at night. And that is more, think minerals and things of that nature. So that meeting happened at an undisclosed building downtown around 9 p.m. And it was on the top floor.
Already a little sketchy.
Me and my folks were very, very, very unsure of what was happening. So especially it's a little unnerving when you get out of the car and there's nothing but guys with shotguns.
Yeah.
So long story short, and more shotguns and more things, we get to the top floor and sit for about 30 minutes awaiting this guy to come in. And he sits down and he proceeds to talk about the Vietnam conflict for quite some time. Big man in a very expensive suit. And he's talking about how the United States hasn't been the best partner in the world to the Congolese people, which I'm entirely sure is probably true.
Probably.
But I'm just sitting there like I'm pretty sure I was just here to come talk about coffee. And I'm trying to navigate this conversation. And then by the end of it, he's like, yeah, we have like 5,000 hectares of coffee producing and cacao producing land. We'd love to give it to you. There's a 30,000 square foot brand new building in Kinshasa with all this coffee equipment. We'd love for you to see it. And I'm like, yes, sir. Okay, that sounds wonderful.
Yeah.
Exit the room. There's a lady with a microphone and a camera and a bunch of people standing there. Interview me as soon as I walk out the door. How much money are you going to, when is the project going to start? And I'm like, oh my God, what is happening? Just get me out of here. So I answer the questions, try to be pleasant, and we get back to the hotel, and I'm like, we're out of here. We are out of here now.
Something just happened.
I'm not entirely sure. Long story short, that's a long story short. Not long ago, 2 Americans, young guys that were over there, long story how they were there and all that stuff, but were sentenced to death by the Congolese government for being part of a coup. There's your tie-in. For being part of a coup attempt. They were there the same time we were there. And so...
It might have been Ruben's brother.
I'm telling you, so I don't know who it was, but we get to our driver the next morning leaving the hotel. And I'm like, take me to the airport. And he starts taking us. Well, phone starts blowing up, and they said, you're not supposed to be with that driver. He was fired. And I said, well, he was here this morning. Didn't speak any English. They speak French. And so we're on the way to the airport, and they're like, no, you need to go.
Who's calling you?
My contact.
Okay.
My contact. And so my fixer. And so they're like, hey, you've got to go to this warehouse and go see. There's like political people there that want to do this presentation. I said, there's no chance that's happening. I'm going on that plane. My flight leaves at 10:30.
Yeah.
And they said, you don't have to worry about anything. We're just going to keep the flight on the ground. It won't leave until you arrive. And so I'm like, no. We go to the airport. They meet us at the airport. Long story longer. I got the hell out of there.
Wow.
Yeah, I said no. I had all the bad vibes.
Yeah, gut feelings.
Yeah.
So did they just take you for a larger industry than you actually were, or?
Well, I mean, interestingly enough, what we do is what they were after. You know what I mean?
Sure.
The larger industries are kind of convoluted. There's a lot of red tape. With us, it's real fast.
Yeah.
It's just boom. What can we do? How can we move it? You know, I'm like, how am I even going to get coffee from there? Like, we go down the Congo River, and you know.
What initially gave you like the red flags, the warning signs?
Interesting. Well, just the overall feeling. Everywhere you went was just kind of like, this is very unsafe. I feel like someone would put a bullet in my head and everybody else would just kind of step over the body. Now, I'm not saying anything negative about Congo at all. Like I said, beautiful people, beautiful country, rich in resources. It was the feeling I had where I was.
Yeah, I know, like meeting at night.
Just all of it. None of it felt right.
Warehouse.
Yeah.
Like.
And I didn't think they wanted to kill me or anything. I'm just like, I don't know what I'm a part of here. I can't pin it down.
Okay.
Yeah.
And because I can't pin it down and I don't know it, and just to get into the Congo, I had to get an invitation, send my passport to Washington, D.C. to the embassy. The whole thing, you got to have a letter, and then before you can even get off the plane, they have to confirm that you've actually been invited to the Congo.
Good God, man.
Yeah, which was all great again, but it was a gut feeling. And then it was just so interesting to see later on that these two Americans were
they voluntarily part of this coup, or did they get tangled in?
No, and who knows if they even were. So they were friends with a Congolese American student.
Okay.
And his dad was involved in government stuff, and they went over with him over a summer. So who knows, what's what?
Yeah.
All I know is there were a couple Americans sentenced to death to be part of a coup.
They no work here no more.
Yeah, but it's possible you were meeting with part of this coup.
Same.
Well, and that was just it. The parties that you're meeting with, all these different government entities, I have little to no knowledge.
We'd have been really pissed off if you couldn't have joined us at this table because you got killed in the Congo.
Yeah, I would have been dead.
You wouldn't have cared.
I would have known the difference.
That's the thing. Like the dead, it's easy for the dead, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So those that are left behind, it sucks.
Yeah.
That's what a dark note.
Man, what happened
to
that?
Man.
Whiskey. What's in that candy you gave us?
No, right?
Dude, no, so I've had a lot of it. Now, y'all have to try this. This is another
off the porch thing
offering.
Okay.
Right? And I couldn't believe this. I couldn't believe the last one.
Kind of looks like baklava or something.
So
I'm not sure what's...
It's good old peanut brittle.
It's the South.
No, this says
peanut
jalapeno.
Yeah,
which
jalapeno
we all love.
peanut brittle.
Oh, this is going to be nice and crunchy on the microphone.
Yeah, I'm going to move away momentarily.
We're going to watch
It's definitely going to be crunchy. Here, I'll get some.
Oh, my God.
I can see people
Dude.
clenching their fists at their...
Yeah, get some of that.
Yep.
That's the kind of stuff that you eat handfuls of. You don't even know that you're doing it.
It's crazy how spicy this is.
I've never been a peanut brittle fan.
Me either, but this is absolutely delicious. I'm a texture guy. That's
spicy.
where it's at. Ooh. I'm going to have to have a little sip here.
I mean, it's spicy.
Well done, Sid.
Jalapeno pecan brittle.
It's delicious.
Did you say buckon?
Pecan.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do some research. I don't know who this lady is, but
Yeah, we're going to do some research for sure.
That does go amazingly well with whiskey.
yeah.
Like
What
that
doesn't? Can you name me something that doesn't?
What does it?
Bubble gum.
Delicious. Amazing.
Yeah, toothpaste.
No, great.
Mouthwash.
No. Oh, you're wrong.
Yeah, you just throw some rye at it. It's golden.
You're just drinking the wrong whiskey, apparently.
Yeah, right. Speaking of whiskey, aren't you guys doing a whiskey night coming up soon?
Let's
Are we
go
going to
on
get
the
there
street.
already?
That's
We're
right.
spoiling it already?
Hey, wait. Let's.
No, I'm bitter about this.
Wait.
Uh-oh.
First of all, yes, bitter, but
Need some water?
let's see
I've got some, thank you.
if Matt knows.
Uh-oh. When it is?
when
No,
it
I
is.
don't.
You do know it got postponed, right?
Yes, only because we had gone through the planning of everything. It was beautiful. We're all excited. And then
That's why
we
he's
figured out...
upset.
Well, we figured out that I'm not even going to be in the country at that time.
Yes,
Yeah.
because you're going to be gone.
So listen, in my defense, I said, y'all do not need me there, and I still hold fast to that point.
That's kind of bullshit.
It is bullshit.
Well, apparently. So now I'll be there.
Yeah, well, I won't.
Why?
I'll be out of the country.
You'll be out of the country.
It doesn't seem
No,
right.
well, not
Where are you
out
going to
of
be?
country.
I'll be out of the country of Texas.
Well, that's
Colorado.
fair.
into
Yeah.
Colorado, but yeah, I'll be gone that next week.
Because it's March 3rd.
Is it?
Yes.
Thank
But
you.
y'all did just pull off a really freaking awesome Valentine's dinner night. So,
It was.
are we done with coffee? Can we transition into whiskey,
go for it.
food,
We'll never be done.
Life.
I mean,
never be
ask
done
our
with
guests.
coffee.
drunken nights at the bar on Trinity Street?
I mean,
Never- that's never
I don't
happened.
know what you're talking about. It's
Yeah.
never happened.
We have
no
never-
one's ever gotten
we've
drunk,
never
drank
No, drank.
No.
drunk at at our bar, sir.
I've tried, but that bartender says like,
They shut you
You're
off.
cut off, man.
Shut you
you're
off,
you're
yeah.
done.
You don't hide it well, then. Gotta work on that.
Yeah, so we have talked a lot about the coffee side.
We
so
have.
Let's talk about the.
I do want to ask, just
okay.
as a, sorry,
No,
just
go
as a
ahead,
quick.
bro.
So you've got your brand Voltage. Obviously, you source or you have your restaurants, your coffee shops are filled with your brand. Where else can people find Voltage coffee?
You know, interestingly enough, I've always said this. I'm not interested in growing our brand or anything. I'm interested in selling coffee because the more coffee that we're able to sell, the more people we're able to work with.
So what you're saying
And
is
so-
you're not a grower, you're a shower.
I try to be both.
That is the episode name right there.
Is both okay?
Yeah.
Matt Fisher, not a grower, not a shower.
Matt Fisher, not a grower,
not a shower.
He's a shower.
Maybe neither. Who knows? But no, so listen, like I said, all of our shops and concepts are different. It ain't about us. At the end of the day, it ain't about us. And so, very happy to partner with Marty B's Coffee. Very happy to partner with LDU Coffee out of Dallas. Roast Me over in Boyd. And just things like that. Roast Me Coffee. Roast Me.
In Boyd?
So it's a small.
Megan, awesome.
It's a small. Operation.
Yeah,
Do you
well,
walk in
we
and they
scaled
insult
back.
you right off the bat or what?
No. So interestingly, we spent about 1.5 years to try to really grow and get into coffee sales. Because again, the whole goal is the more coffee I can sell, the more farmers we can work with, right?
Yeah.
And then we very quickly realized, unless you just are sitting on a pile of money and you have nothing but time, or you're something like Black Rifle, it's just lightning in a bottle. You're talking about one of one.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? You're just not going to be able to do that. It takes a long time.
Well, they just resonated with their demographic.
Sure.
For sure.
Well, that's true.
Again, whether it goes viral for whatever reason, we live in a different time these days where, the whole entire world can know about something in all of 3 seconds.
Yep.
Yeah.
That said, for what we do, it's like we scaled everything back and we just want to focus on our partnerships, relationships, and, maybe my kids will have a company that is selling more coffee, but that's really not our focus. We realize that our focus is, we've always said we're a relational company, not a transactional company. And what we were coming up against is a lot of transactions. And I just wasn't really particularly interested in that.
I get the virtuous approach to that, but I also think you should be able to say without any guilt that there's a little selfish pride in what I've gotten done. If it wasn't for you and the initiatives that you have taken and the business that you created,
there's always another shoe.
Nobody else will be benefiting.
It's that other shoe's going to drop.
I like to say that these things have happened in spite of me.
Yeah, if you don't have a large dose of humility, that other shoe's going to drop.
Be humble. I'm not suggesting be a dick. I'm just saying. Yeah, selfishness. Well, and small dose is a good thing. If you don't take care of yourself, your own lifestyle, provide for yourself or your kids, your patients don't have a really good quality of life either, do they? Because yours is shit. And
valid point. Yeah. But it's hard to identify the line to where you go too far with that. And it's like
y'all ate at the restaurant, didn't you?
Oh yeah,
that's called failure. And so what I would say is, it's really interesting to try to receive, the hard work. There's a lot of hard work,
We should clarify that the restaurant was the old.
Sure. Yeah. Sorry. Thank you, Heath. Yes, we had a restaurant there previously for, what's interesting is
because what is there now is 1,000 times different than what was there.
1,000 times different.
It kind of blows my mind how crazy of a 360 that has.
Well, but interestingly, like I said, changed. Y'all literally remember, we demoed that place and then it sat 4 months with construction equipment in there because of COVID.
Yep.
And so then we were like, well, hell, we've invested, we've got to keep moving forward. And man, historically, I think we're going to look back and be like, that was the hardest time in hospitality so far.
I've heard that
hands
over
down.
And over.
Well, how many restaurants shuttered?
Yeah.
Internationally during that time.
Right.
Yeah.
when Momofuku and David Chang's coming out and he's like, man, I'm shutting it. I've got to close it all down.
Yeah.
I literally can't exist. We would have people just be like, yeah, I'm not coming to work.
Yeah. You're still seeing fallout from something from 4 years ago.
I'm seeing recovery, man, and call me an optimist, but I really do feel like we're putting it back together. The wheels are
your optimism
getting back
is
on the
giving
bus.
me optimism.
Good.
So
yeah, because I think the way you got to look at it is if it wasn't for COVID and the hard and because it was there was stuff that you guys were going through, and this is just from a dude that comes in there every day,
literally,
of course. But the stuff that y'all was going through was not all from COVID. I don't think it was just
everything.
Creating a restaurant, that's the first time it's ever happened, and running through all the stuff.
Oh my gosh!
Could you imagine where you would be like without COVID basically shutting you down?
Right.
Could you imagine the shit that you would have went through to get to where you're at now?
Oh my gosh! Well, and that's the thing,
because it's been such a huge
transition.
Well, and it's absolutely zero of any of the old.
100%. Well, that's to Chance's point. That's where the humility of acutely recognizing how delicate everything is.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, if we don't learn, the moment you're like, I got this, is the moment you need to pack it up.
Right.
You need to just go ahead and sell because it's
you're
headed
about
down.
to get slapped.
You're multiple ways and from multiple directions. And so that is the confident humility that we have learned, if I can put it that way. Because, we approach everything. Like right now, like, this is the best we've ever done. There's a lot of reason for optimism. Super excited that the trend is just up. People are happy and coming back. But I feel how tenuous that is. Yeah. And every week we're like, how do we continue to serve better? How do we change things because the moment you're like, all right, we're there again, as I said, it's just going to start to die.
Yeah. Well, and that's a bad thing for the business that you're in. I don't think there is a there.
No, shoot.
I don't think, because it's always
changes.
Constant evolution.
Yeah.
It's the right word.
Unless you just want to get to a spot and close.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of people build things to sell. And, interestingly, how you build something, from the beginning is like, I built this to sell. In 5 years, I'm out. Here's where we go. Sell it on to this entity and great. But that was never my intention.
Right.
My intention is to only to water the roots. Well, not all. Yes, of course. Although all of my four are like, that's not happening.
Yeah, sell it, Dad. Sell it.
They're like, yeah, Dad, we will happily sell the company when you die.
Yeah, as soon as you die.
Shoot, sell it before if you want. But
I know, right?
But the point is, that wasn't why we started. And so, it's been really fun to get on the other side of the closing of the restaurant to where we are today. We just had a record weekend and we're in February. That's just really not the time in hospitality. You know what I mean? You're like, man, let's just get through. There's 28 days. We're probably going to lose a couple of the ice. Who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah.
And man, we're doing.
So I think y'all have finally had that arrival. Like you have
Chef Mike.
That and,
come on,
yeah. I mean, just
come on.
That dude's nuts.
Let's call it what it is. It's literally the entire team.
But the entire team, the ambiance, the food. You have found that niche. You have arrived at that niche that this town has needed for the longest damn time. Like you had good food, you had good burger, sliders, and sandwiches, but you could get that everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Now you have found yourself in the niche of providing something that you can't get unless you leave and go to Fort Worth or Dallas or
we
Grapevine.
Just had crab in Decatur.
Yeah, lobster.
Yeah, lobster, bro.
Lobster. Well, I wanted crab because I keep telling him crab.
Oysters, we've done.
And they were phenomenal, by the way.
Interestingly, and that's what I like to say. I love this town, and I'm not trying to ride the fence or anything, but there's a lot of great things happening in this town, happening for a long time. We just want to be something different. We want to be something different in this community that complements everything else that's already here. Yeah. And it's a really rad community, And
Chef Michael, man, he has spearheaded that.
Come on.
The food offerings into the
award-winning
next
chili, bro, man.
You got to tell
Please
us about that.
tell me you've told that story.
We have.
I don't think he's told it. Have we told it on here?
This is so good.
Yeah. So
well, it's time to reiterate it.
So there's a local cigar bar in our town.
Shout out,
which we all know and love, the Chief Cigar Bar. And he had the great idea to have a chili cook-off one night.
Chief,
he
by
has
the way,
a lot of great ideas. Come on.
Segue. The Chief, by the way, is in his birthing phase of transitioning out of. I know he's going to love that I use that word.
I was going to say, wait, what?
He's going to love that
I'm kind of
transitioning out of his bad coffee into. We're working on him.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
He hasn't arrived yet.
Oh, he'll get there.
He'll get there. We're going to work on him.
Give him a really bad 3-year-old cigar in a plastic bag, and then give him a really, really good cigar and be like, are these any different?
Yeah, are these different?
I don't know. It's a cigar. What?
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry. Back to the award-winning chili.
Yeah, local cigar bar, Chief Cigar Lounge. If you haven't been there, go. It's amazing. They decided to have a chili cook-off, which was great. I thought it was an awesome idea.
Chad, I had nothing to do with this.
Nothing. Yeah. And so there were no rules and said cook-off.
there it is.
First mistake. First mistake.
Yeah, especially with me.
So they were thinking beans or no beans. That
doesn't matter. It's just chili.
No.
Yeah.
Well, so beans. If beans are in chili, there's no.
They're thinking
not chili.
we're not going to put rules on
this.
this.
It's a stew cook-off at that point. A stew cook-off.
Sure.
Because this is Texas. We don't put beans in a chili. So
Come on.
I mean that can
now.
be debatable.
Sorry, but it's not debatable. It's not. It's just not.
It's funny how that's up there with like abortion.
It is. It's right next to it.
You know?
It's right next to it.
That's
on hot topics of like things you just don't do in Texas.
that you don't talk about.
Oh, okay.
That you don't talk
taboo.
about.
You don't put beans, or you do.
We don't. We don't.
You don't
kill
talk
dinner
about
table.
it. You
Not at the
don't
dinner
go up
table.
to somebody and be
don't
like, I think beans should
beans
be
in
in chili, because they're going to disagree.
Yeah,
and
they're
it's
gonna pull out
be
a knife.
Yeah.
Let's take a vote. Let's take a vote real quick because we're all
I don't
walking.
even think I
It's
need to
getting
say
very passionate in here.
No beans.
No, vote. Start with Matt. Beans or no beans?
No beans.
beans.
No beans.
I didn't even get to you yet. Calm down, Cujo.
You sure?
How do you
I'm
feel
not
about it,
saying
Heath?
that.
You
It's like,
tell us.
but the bean people aren't saying like chili's got to have beans. They're just saying like, I'm okay if my chili's got some beans.
My
in
dad's
it.
been making chili forever. He puts beans in it. Okay.
I'm completely
Yeah.
ambivalent. I give no shits.
I know, but
You'll eat it all. You're non-discriminatory.
I'm not saying I
towards your
haven't.
chili.
I'm not saying I haven't ate chili with beans in it. I'm just saying.
Well, you just said you
No.
ate stew then.
it's stew.
But the no bean people are like label the bean people as just like boom if they would
Sure.
eat so
I
it's
mean,
extreme.
no.
It
It's
does.
extreme.
Hey, you can't divert from this story, please.
Yes.
Okay,
So, back to chili.
No rules.
So there was no rules. So you could have
Yeah.
put beans in your chili. You could. I think.
Apparently, you could
I think
do a lot
we
of
had
things.
a chili with what's the where was it from? I think it had noodles in it.
Well, there you go.
Okay.
I mean, there are no rules.
Pittsburgh?
Never had that.
No, it's
Pittsburgh?
it's
Cleveland?
Ohio
Pittsburgh?
based. Cincinnati. It's the Cincinnati.
That's it.
Cincinnati. Yeah.
No,
so,
man.
so we had.
See,
Yeah.
Okay.
We had. We're good. We're good together.
traveled
We're good
chili
world
together.
travelers
Yes.
here. Okay, right?
That's why we. That's why we live
very
together.
cultured.
We love each other. But yeah, so there was multiple types of chili there. So there was no rules. So I've had Chef Mike's chili before, and I was like, "This is the best chili I've ever had in my life." And that's saying something because my mom makes chili. Sorry, Mom, you suck.
Oh no, she doesn't. She's a beautiful angel.
I'm cutting that out and put it on the highlight reels. I'm cutting that one out of the show.
Better look at the timestamp on that one.
What was? Oh no, it's on screensaver.
But so I've had this chili, and I'm like, dude, I had this just light bulb just. I'm literally. So I called Matt, and I said,
What? No, I'm denying any knowledge.
Deny.
Knowledge.
And I said, Matt, we got to get Mike to throw some chili into my crock pot. 115.
I'll have 10.
We've been talking for an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah, but we're
Yeah.
trying to cut that out so we can put it on a highlight reel.
Okay.
115.
Mom, you
just
suck.
remember. Yeah, 115. We'll remember that.
Okay.
Type it on the notes.
So I literally took the crock pot up to Trinity Street. Chef Mike filled that dude completely full, and then I said, "Hey, I gotta have some corn. I gotta have your cornbread with it." Which that's another debate: does cornbread or is it crackers with chili? Because the Texas
point.
get crazy with that too.
Yep.
But I used to be a cracker guy until Chef Mike cornbread.
You still
and
are
now-
a cracker.
Now I'm Chef Mike's cornbread with everything I eat because it's the best cornbread you'll ever eat in your life. So I got a crock pot full of chili. I took this crock pot up there, and I mean, I sold the piss out of this stuff. These people thought I had a pre-World War I grandmother's chili. It had a special pepper in it that you can't even find anymore. I mean, I was a car salesman on this chili. I mean, I was selling it.
Ground ivory from the tusks of deceased elephants.
And bro, I won with flying colors. There was 40 chips in my bucket and like 2 in every other. And so when they were announcing the winners, of course, they said, "Hey, second place, third place, in the first place, Heath's chili." So I got up there and I was like, "Dude, man, I'm so grateful you guys love this chili, man." And I was like, "But if you guys if you ever want any more, just let me know." And go to Trinity Street Coffee. The amount of bad words that I got thrown my way was amazing. I loved every bit of it. But
Did you know? Did he tell you? Did you know what he was
he
up
was
to?
in it just as much as I was.
Yes.
Yeah, don't let him
Listen,
lie.
I did know. I won't lie. I can't lie, unfortunately. But
Yes.
no, I did know.
It was amazing. So if you want award-winning chili,
Truly.
Trinity Street Coffee
Truly.
Bar
And everything else.
for brunch
you know-
or dinner only.
No, it's actually not on the menu now. We switched. We got
my
a chicken tortilla
gosh.
because Mike's a genius. But I will say,
Those are good too.
man, go see Jason. Go see Chris. Go see anybody. Listen, I love craft cocktails. I do. There's something different about it. It's an opportunity with the bartender to show off some spirits or just have a conversation. And our team right now, I'd put them up against anybody. Their drinks are so good.
Trinity Street, the crew has set the bar for like the gold standard for us everywhere we go. is ultimately judged by how we've had it at Trinity Street.
You know what makes me so happy? I mean, truly, we get people from all over in there. You know, we're kind of a thoroughfare, to your point, to Colorado earlier, and we get all kinds of people and like, man, I had an old fashioned here. It's an old fashioned, you know, but they're like, I can't get it anywhere else now. It's just different. And that makes me really happy. I'm not making the stuff. I'm not cooking the food. I'm not making the drinks. I'm just super proud of the people that are.
I was staying on the topic of food, not because I'm eating.
Since you're eating,
yeah, just get you some of that.
Chef Michael, my introduction to him was when you helped me out and hooked me up with the dinner pairing with the Red River products.
Oh, yeah,
all the Red
yeah.
River Distillery stuff.
Night.
It was an amazing night, and you weren't there.
9 different things. Where was I? I wasn't in the country.
I don't know.
I was not in the country.
I paid like an homage to you, and people are like,
"Who's that?
Is Matt dead?" Because the way I guess I had said it was like he can't be here with us. Unfortunately,
he's no longer with us.
He's no longer with us tonight. And everybody's like,
"It's all right. I stepped in as the owner. Don't worry."
Appreciate you.
That was a really great night, though.
It was.
And the pairings that he came up with just like suited. I liked, put that out real quick. I liked our Sotol, but when he paired the tri-tip with it, the red meat, like every mezcal product I have to like pair it with some sort of red meat. Whiskey's great.
It's totally weird coming from you, though.
Whiskey's great, but if you want to eat your beef, lamb, anything that's real rich and red, I swear to God, pair it with mezcal, and it
makes a lot of sense.
It makes it explode.
Everything that's, Well, I'm a mezcal guy.
I'm understanding it.
Well, it has its place, of course, but you know, and Chef Michael came to us from a couple places in Fort Worth. Been cooking since he was 16. Grew up in Fort Worth, and just an incredible talent. Just sees things differently. He's an outdoorsman. Everything that he takes. It's evident when he puts it into the food. And, you know, it's been fun, though, because his talent, I don't want to say his talent, but his ceiling is so much higher. But we're like, hey, if we're going to go on a journey here in Wise County, we got to earn people's trust, especially after closing a restaurant. So, you know, you got to make a chicken fried steak, but you got to make the best one around. And then you've got to offer lobster or filet on a weekend. And then, you know, once people are like, hey, I come here, you know, and it's consistent. I like what I get. They're really willing to try new things. Right now, it's a sea bass, but it's the entire fish.
It is a nice portion.
And it's, you know, but how many times have you received fish with a head on it and, you know, in the area?
That wasn't a Mexican
And I'm super
restaurant.
proud of that. You know what I mean? Well, sure. Or in a stew or something.
Yeah.
And so, you know, really, in all honesty, I have no idea what he's doing until it's on a plate being served.
Well, I feel like that's how you kind of want your chef.
100%.
You, as an owner, you want to be able to just go, whatever he's doing, it's.
I literally have no idea. He walks out with a live Maine lobster on his head, and I'm like, that looks cool.
How did y'all find him?
Okay, so I got some heat in the beginning. Like, where did you guys headhunt this guy from? He applied on Indeed.
I'll be damned.
We were just the luckiest people that saw it when he just posted it, called him immediately, and like, you're hired.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so he just, you know, the chefing is hard, y'all. Like, for real. We've watched Chef's Table. We all have talked about how we love these different things.
You should patent that real quick.
We like the idea.
T-shirt. Yeah. Chefing is hard.
Chefing is hard, man.
Yeah, it is.
And so he, you know, they want 60, 70, 80 hours. They want to pay you fraction of that effort. And I get it, because at the end of the day, just like we kind of talked about earlier with coffee, you're not going to go pay $50 for a chicken fried steak and some mashed potatoes.
Right.
So in order, because food costs are also insanely high, you know, it's just we see things a little bit differently. And so to have somebody like Chef Michael and his team, like, just like me, I can't do anything without my team. And Chef Michael's phenomenal, but the entire kitchen crew is, you know what I mean?
Yeah, kitchen crew, wait,
they're
staff.
throwing it down.
It's a very well coordinated affair up there now.
Sure,
That's awesome.
And then step over to the bar side.
Yeah.
It's a whole different thing.
Which is where the Whiskey Bros enter the fray circa
2017.
There's still a
is our sign still there?
Sign up, yes, it will be forever.
And it's warped.
It is warped.
Yeah,
I don't know what that says, but it is definitely
it's wood.
More like a canoe.
It's aged.
And you know what hard is straight, but once it gets soft,
it's got a little bend to it.
It's got a little bend to it.
I don't know what that says about
I know,
it. But,
I don't even know where to take that one.
See a doctor.
But it's there and will be proudly.
Yes.
Okay, so I got a sideline question that
Doc's been thinking. I
Yeah,
can see
I've
it.
been thinking.
He's over there.
Okay, so what do you recommend to your own kids whenever it comes to thinking about college?
Oh my goodness, what a question. So what we didn't discuss is I'm a proud high school dropout. I grew up outside of Detroit, and more of us dropped out than graduated where I come from. And so that it's a
You and Eminem.
I've never heard of that guy until I moved to Texas. How's that? I can tell you about a lot of other people I heard of. But I'll tell you this. What's interesting is I was having this conversation in a different context. And we were just raised to work on the assembly line. And there's nothing wrong with that. So when you think about Detroit, the big three and the UAW, and it's what we knew. I went to 4 different high schools, wasn't able to actually graduate from any of them. And, when you talk to the counselors and different people, it's, hey, you're going to make a really good living on the assembly line. And a lot of us bought into that, truly. And it was true.
And you can make a good living on the assembly line.
Oh my gosh. At that time, you're talking $20 to $30 an hour. This is the 90s.
Millions of people have.
Oh,
yeah.
Life was good.
Yeah.
I mean, for a lot of people in the auto industry. None of us foresaw the entire industry moving away and Detroit collapsing completely.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, what happened to Detroit? Well, you had a huge population of people that were dependent on careers in the auto industry, and the auto industry went away. So you had a lot of people, just didn't finish school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so when you have I'm Detroit through and through. I love that city and Waterford and Pontiac and everything, but it's what happened.
Yeah.
You had people that were not really ready for any other industry than the auto industry.
Yeah.
And when it went away, life changed. Detroit really, it went down. It did.
Yeah.
It did. And I like to think that we're having a resurgence. But so I dropped out of high school. So my kids in college, it's like, look, if you want to do something specific, if you want to be a doctor, let's just go with that. Then you got to go to school. If that's really what there's no way around it. You can't be a side hustle doctor.
Yeah.
Not legally, at least.
But if it's not specific.
But if it's not, I highly encourage my kids. Let's just go with my oldest. She's an ag kid. I'm so proud of her. She works so hard. I'm proud of all 4 of my kids. Let me just say that. But, and I'm telling her, I'm like, look, baby, what do you want to do? And if school makes sense and they're great, let's figure it out. But if it doesn't, there's no point.
Right.
There's no point.
Right.
I know I don't look at resumes. I know my company is small, but I mean, I'm looking at the person. What do you bring to the table? What's your work ethic?
It's a good, per your story, it just gave me food for thought. Like what I would tell my daughter is no matter what path you want to pursue, your education, if you're a dropout, if you just finish high school, if you go through some college and drop out, your education does not stop when school stops.
Oh my gosh. That's when you start learning, is when you get out of school.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could start learning at the age of 16.
Sure. I mean, and everybody's different. Everybody is different.
Yeah.
The school that I did go to was necessary for paramedic school when I was a fireman. But I would also say I started learning the day that I got on the ambulance.
Yeah.
It's not an easy school, man.
Right.
Paramedic is tough.
Oh, it was hard. But, that said, I think we're living in a different time right now where it's not just a foregone conclusion that you need to go get into college.
Yeah.
So my industry is interesting because we hire a lot of 20-somethings.
Yeah.
And I can tell you we have hired more than I can count that have graduated and bought into this idea that, I need to go to school. And $200,000 in debt.
And they graduate.
And they graduate and they're like, now what?
Where's my job?
That's a valid point.
And we don't set them up throughout the entire process to consider that. It's like, hey, just go here and get a degree and life will be great.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it will or won't. I'm just saying it's a little bit of an epidemic. And man, $200,000 a house.
Yeah.
So
kind of.
Nowadays, that's true.
Maybe a mobile home.
Three quarters of a house at least right now.
I mean, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
To be owing for something
to just get started.
Right. Patience, wisdom, counsel, these are good things.
Yeah, and your mindset as a 20-something-year-old evolves and changes throughout that whole decade of your 20s.
At 18, you're still a kid.
At 25, you're still a kid.
I moved out young.
32, you are.
Yeah. It's an interesting concept that I think each parent, gets an opportunity to talk to their kids about.
Yeah.
What's right for you. But this whole idea of just go to college is like, hold on.
Yeah.
Time out.
It's that way no more.
No,
I mean,
absolutely.
just the cost.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, okay. I got you. Okay, another hardball. Okay, how do you see business changing? It's like what you do.
Yeah.
You go make a relationship in some other country, and then you try to develop the structure stateside to take their product and make it marketable so that it kind of benefits everybody. Is that going to change with all the technology that's happening right now?
I mean,
AI
everything's going to change, right?
Yeah.
I don't even think we know what's going to change, just that everything is going to change. From a business perspective, I try to keep a very open posture, and I try to keep up with what's happening. Let's just talk about this from a labor standpoint. Y'all have been to Taco Bell and McDonald's in this town.
Yeah.
What happens when you go in? There's a big screen up there, isn't there?
Yep.
Why is that screen there? What's it training us to do? Every industry is trying to find a way that we can't pay people a living wage, which I wish we could.
Yeah.
But it's like, if I'm going to run a McDonald's, I used to be able to run it with 100 people or whatever, shift after shift. And now, if you're going to pay them $15, $20, $25 an hour, well, now I can only do it with 30 people.
Yeah.
You can't.
So industry is looking for ways to eliminate labor
and automate,
right? Have you seen these machines that make fries and burgers, and it's like just machines?
Yeah.
So what should be the posture of the people?
Well, I mean, I don't know the answer to that, except
That's
for
tough.
open.
That's
I mean,
tough.
yeah, because they have bills. People have bills.
But
you know what I mean? And
I got to play devil's advocate here too.
Well,
You can't also kick in the door to an entry level job and demand that job pays you so well
there we go.
that you can have a $500,000 house on a hill with 2 acres.
That's a valid
you can't
point, bro.
demand that. That's unrealistic.
Point. It's the point. And here's the thing. I had a conversation with one of our employees. Like, she's amazing and hardworking, great personality and everything. She's looking for these things that are going to pay a bunch of money right away. And I said, we were having an honest conversation. And I said, you get a job at a company that you really respect a lot, and you go, I'll take any job I can get. And then you work really hard for a while. Then you earn your way up.
That's the way it used to be.
Well, it's the way it should. It's the way it should be.
No, it's the way that it is.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, a lot of these young people haven't been told that. They haven't been shown that, and they've been shown this TikTok world of immediate, like, I'm famous and rich now, and it sucks because it's not true.
So in retrospect, this all funnels into the world of social media and the big lie.
Well, I mean, social media is an easy target.
But you're watching everybody. Nobody shows you anything but their success or their progress. Nobody shows you.
It's not that. It all falls back down to
the parents.
Shitty parenting.
Yeah,
well, true.
All of it.
We love our kids, but what does that look like?
Well, yeah, because your kids can have Facebook, TikTok, all the media shit.
Sure.
If you're still parenting them, you're still letting them know, hey, what you're watching there. It's not the real.
It's not real.
It's not real.
Yeah.
It's a lie. It's
True.
Now, it can be real for a little bit.
Yeah.
Because these people on TikTok and Facebook, they are making money.
Yeah.
And how happy are they?
How happy are they, and how long is that going to last?
How long is it going to last?
Yes. That's not real.
So do you think plates are coming back?
Plates?
What?
Yeah.
Did they ever plates?
Like,
plates.
Are we talking about things you eat on type of plates?
Yeah.
Did they leave?
I understand what he's saying. Are we going to sit around a table and talk to our kids and eat together? Is that what you're saying, Doc?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So right now you go through, you get your food in a wrapper, you get your food in a box, or even if you're eating at home.
It gets delivered to you from somebody else.
It gets delivered from somebody. Even if you're eating at home, you're putting your food on a paper plate instead of a real plate.
Very good question, brother.
Yeah.
Which is totally fine, because you can still have a family dinner on paper plates.
No. The point he's making, though, is when are we going to sit around a table and talk to our families? I think is the question.
Agreed.
And you know what? I think it's going to be born out of necessity. I think everything has a breaking point, and
we need COVID again.
No.
We didn't need COVID the first time.
No,
man.
we did
Get out
not.
of here.
The 2-week shutdown of America was the greatest. No, like that's when they 2 weeks is when they really shut it down.
Yeah, if we could do that once a year and really do it and not market
the
hell out
purge,
of
but
it.
without killing everybody.
Yeah.
But you're shutting everything down, and then you end up without ass wipes.
No, that's fine. No, I'm saying
there's no toilet paper for a year.
What I'm saying is, for 2 weeks out of every year, we should shut down everything.
Oh, listen, if you could do that,
those 2 weeks,
one, we would save trillions of dollars, and two,
but those
we would
2
have
weeks
to look at each
as
other.
a family, as a man and my family, were the best 2 weeks of my life.
Oh,
as an adult,
100%.
Because we were shut down. I say shut down.
He was out in the Savage Shack.
I was still able to go to work. So I guess I should say not shut down, but the wife stayed home. The
kids are home from school.
Well, we took them out of school because I wasn't sending my kids to school with a mask.
Right.
So I said, screw you, and I took my kids out and homeschooled them for 2 years or 2 semesters, whatever it was. But that was the best 2 weeks of my life as an adult because
distraction free.
It was distraction free. There was no running. There was no nothing. I literally went to work and I came home and it was just hanging out with the family. We ate dinner outside. We made picnics in the yard. I mean, there was no running for sports, running for plays, running for. I mean, it was just nothing. It was just shut down. It was slower and it was amazing.
I think too, the intentionality of it, like. Again, like I just said, what does loving your kids look like? Does loving your kids like giving them every single thing they want at all times? Just let me ask you, is that how the world works?
No.
So what are we doing for our kids when we do everything for them and we don't allow them to participate with real life? Well, you're making the next 30 years real hard.
Yes.
And so,
and potentially killing them.
Potentially. And so what's interesting is you look into some of these young folks' eyes and you're just, we're easy to dismiss an entire generation, like, blah. But you look into their eyes and they truly don't know.
Right.
They've never heard the words that you're saying before.
That's a valuable point.
And what I think is they're actually incredibly industrious. I think they're very intelligent. And I think that they're hungry. I think they just have been coddled.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, 100%.
So, like I said, all parents out there, it's for you to decide. They're your babies. But, like, what's loving your kid look like?
Yes.
Yeah. Tough love.
Yep.
It's got to be tough love.
Ooh, like, that's deep, man.
All that from a plate.
Yeah.
From a plate.
Yeah.
It's a good question.
No.
I'm glad you picked up on that because I was a little taken
I
aback.
try to be present.
I do too, but
we hear so much off the wall shit from this man.
Doc and I speak a similar language.
When he says something, it takes us a while till we're like,
all right, Doc.
What the hell did he just say?
How would you have broached that question to Heath and I then?
I don't think I would have.
He would have said
fuck you.
I think he would have said the same thing. He would have just known we probably would have made fun of him and not stopped and go, okay,
that's exactly
that's the difference
right.
between us and Matt because we have to listen to this a lot. We just immediately start making fun of him. Matt's like, what's he talking about?
I think the most.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. No, Doc,
sure?
please. I'm positive.
I think the most important thing you said, or to me, the most important thing you said was there's a breaking point with everything, and I think with trashy consumerism. I'm making that up.
No, I understand what you're saying though.
But
what do you mean by that?
You're talking about cheap consumerism.
Yeah, cheap consumerism.
What do you mean by that?
So it's like going to Starbucks, like picking up food on your way home because you've packed your life so full you don't have time to actually fix a meal.
It's convenience, right?
So you stop at Whataburger.
The right now community.
But don't say Whataburger, bro. You can say other restaurants. You just don't say Whataburger.
We had this same conversation
stop at Panda
there you go.
on the way home just to get this like styrofoam meal.
Yeah.
Right?
To shove in your kid's face real quick before
you. Oh no, we're all and I'm a bad
all four of us here have done that.
Oh, right. That's what I'm calling
him so much.
Chicken nuggets at this stage, bro.
Chicken nuggets, bro. Chicken nuggets and mac and cheese.
That's what I'm calling trashy consumerism. But maybe it has a breaking point.
Of course. Everything does, and it's going to be born out of necessity, obviously. But what's interesting to me is perspective. We talked to bring this whole conversation, this part of it full circle. When you travel to another country and you watch a 6-year-old taking care of a 1-year-old while the parents are working all day, right? It'll change your perspective on things of what kids can and can't do, what we trust them with.
Which I feel like that used to be a lot here.
Oh, of course. Look at the Great Depression. That's not that long ago.
Which it may still be.
Historically speaking.
True.
It may still be. Maybe we're just so far out of it that we don't see it as much.
So if you truly love your kids, send them to jobs child labor.
Well, you know what I mean. But balance. I mean,
chores.
Certainly show them real life.
Yeah, chores were a big thing. I mean, at age 7.
All of us.
7
I
or 8.
guarantee
It's
y'all clean some bathrooms and rooms in the house and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
push mower at age 5 with no safety features whatsoever. Get out and mow the yard, you little shit. I don't care.
What job is a dishwasher?
What I was doing.
Yeah.
See, my oldest is 14, so 12ish. I would wake up at 3:15 in the morning, feed 25 baby calves bottle milk.
It's a lot of cats, man.
Calves.
I never knew you were a cat dude.
Not cat. Calves.
Oh, calves.
Bottle
calves.
feed calves.
Okay.
Who bottle feeds 25 calves?
I thought you just did.
Meet the fuckers.
Am I from Denton all of a sudden?
Can you build
No.
me?
Anyways, so I would feed baby calves, moo cows, and then we would get up and we would clean the library, and we would clean the washateria in town, and then I would go to school.
Yeah.
And then I would come home, and all I did after that was hoe weeds out of the garden.
And if I may, what I see from you is gratitude for work and for your family and for the opportunity that you've been given, because
100%.
you understand what it took to get to where you are.
100%. But and then that's what's weird about humans is. So I have a sister, and same life, same everything, but total different way of looking at what happened.
Sure.
That's what's weird about humans. We were both raised the same way all through life, had to do the exact same thing, but just total.
Just a different perspective on it.
It's weird though how two people in the same situation can have different.
Look at it right now. Everyone says it's 2025. Okay, but again, if you go to other parts of the world, many of them, most of them, it's 2025 there too. And they're living in a completely different way where they're still waking up at 3:15 in the morning.
Said most of them. Are there spots in the world that doesn't think it's 2025?
But I mean, there's no, not that. I'm talking about first world. You know what I mean? I'm talking about fully developed places of
they're
benefit,
not getting up, checking their TikTok feed. Like,
right. I'm talking about kids that are getting up at 3:15 to feed, to take care of their family, to make sure that mom and dad are getting to work and all this. And I'm saying it's not associated with a time, it's associated with an experience.
So that's the word that comes to mind then. If you like truly love your kids, then it's discipline.
Well, it's opportunity.
Opportunity, discipline,
you know what I mean?
Whether it's routine.
You wrap them in bubble wrap, they're going to get hurt.
I think it's all of that.
Okay,
I think it's all of that. I think it is discipline because I mean I'm 100% believer of the way youth is today is because there's a lack of.
Yeah, I don't mean like spanking or whatever. You can, but I mean just correction,
all of it.
with routine, with work, and give them some safety and margins, and then sometimes let the boundaries down to where they have to make their own mistakes. That's what I want to tell my daughter is like, look, I want to know that you're going to be able to make mistakes and recover. The mistakes, what I want to protect you from are the mistakes that will end your life or somebody else's.
That's exactly it.
So what you have to do with
those
that
are your
is,
boundary lines.
Yes. So what you have to do is you have to let them know young that
you have to start now.
Said mistakes come with said consequences.
Yes.
You have to let them know, and that's what's a lot of problem with youth today is they've never had consequences. There's none. They've never had any.
Right.
And now they're getting into the real world, and they're like, holy shit.
And things are changing, man. They're changing in a big way from an employment standpoint. It's like, hey, you don't get to work here anymore. It's like, wait, what?
What? Well,
it's like, no, you don't get to work here anymore.
Real world, yeah.
You're now fired.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that whole concept is like lost on them. You know what I mean? And so, I think that we are headed for some sort of crossroads with all of it. You know what I mean? As far as, but again, I'm encouraged because when these younger generations are challenged, I see them like they're innovative. So look at some of our world is different, and because of them. And I personally, call me an optimist, whatever, but I'm excited about where it's going to happen. But parents, let your kids fail.
Yeah, and I don't think this is a new thing. I think this has always happened.
It's just our experience with it.
Well, yes, I think there's always been 4 old dudes sitting around the table going,
okay, that's a good point.
Who are you calling old, man?
Man, I'm old. I think I'm the oldest one at this table. Come on.
Right. Be between you and Doc.
No, I'm older than Doc.
45.
46, baby.
44.
Okay. You're senior.
Yeah, senior Matt.
You know what? I didn't like that. I'm liking it more and more.
That's right.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You were going to say something.
No, I was just saying. Like, I don't think this is the first time this conversation's happened where we're.
Oh no,
the youth.
I'm talking about the Utes.
The Utes.
Yeah. The Utes.
Did you say Ute?
Yeah. Did you say Utes?
But what you were saying though with the
great movie.
Great.
Like
movie.
I feel like the youth today is smarter than when I was said youth.
Every generation is smarter, right?
Yeah.
Dude,
like that's the way it's supposed
my
to be.
8-year-old is smarter than me.
Yeah, so it's
Come on.
in them to like amazingly overpass us. I don't know if that's the correct word. Overpass.
Yeah,
Sure.
Sure, it works.
But it's in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just they got to, and it's almost, and I don't want to say we're holding them back. It's not us holding them back. It's just, and when I say us, I mean
The
us
collective.
in general. Yeah,
It's you coming to terms with your own mortality.
All right.
yeah. Basically.
well, or our lack of affording their genius.
Yeah. I mean, hey,
Yeah.
they're thinking in a way that we couldn't.
we can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Literally,
Yeah.
we weren't exposed to the same type of things. This
But-
is true story. Well, no.
But they're also not thinking in the way we could.
That's true.
Because,
That's where parenting is so critical.
yes, because they're using AI, Google to think for them.
They're
Sure.
writing their papers. Our teachers right now are at a all-time crossroads because it's
Yeah.
like, how do you know if they type this into AI or if they actually did this 30-page
When
paper?
it comes down to it, you can't know.
Shoot,
So he's
come
been a
on.
big champion of AI, and
Yeah.
Have y'all seen Idiocracy?
Oh, yeah.
Are we
Yeah.
getting closer or further? from
We're in the
Idiocracy?
middle of it.
We are in the middle of it.
middle of idiocracy.
But I'm also to a point that why
I believe we won't get there.
I hope not.
But why would you
I hope
not?
you're right. I do.
No, I hope we don't get to idiocracy.
Idiocracy.
Yes.
Yeah. Close enough.
But why hold back AI, Google? It's going to be there.
You just have to regulate
That's like
it.
saying, let's
don't
just
think you
hold back
can.
this tornado that's headed in our direction.
Yeah.
I don't think
It
you
ain't
can.
happening. But
no.
what I think is going to happen, I believe in people. Call me old time sentimental, whatever you want to do, but I believe in people, and I believe that when the time comes, we will have the decisions in front of us.
Yeah.
And we're going to choose each other. I believe that.
100%.
Well, we're at that precipice right now. It's our generation. Everybody at this table, we're the generation that ushered in the social medias, right?
Yeah.
And we're at the capacity to understand that maybe these things aren't so great.
Well,
oh my
to
gosh.
have with us
Well,
24/7.
No matter what,
True story.
it's in our DNA because we're not hunter gatherers, but we
Tribal?
need travel.
We're tribal.
Yeah.
So no matter how great AI gets,
Yeah.
it will always be
Not human.
not.
It's
human.
not us.
It'll
Not the human
always be.
connection.
It's always something
I'm
else.
with you. Where
There's an
I,
off
I-
button.
I think no matter how amazing it gets or whatever it gets, we will always choose the tribe,
Right,
if you will.
Right. Well, I mean, I hope so. And
I hope, yes.
the
Yeah.
interesting thing is there is an off button, and we can shut the whole thing down.
So that's great for the human connection version, but what about the
Arnold thought
advance?
there was an off button too.
What about the advancement of human
Was
knowledge?
that a Terminator quote?
Yes, it
Yeah. Yeah.
What was that? I'm sorry, Chance. I was totally enthralled with the
The human connection is one thing, but what about the advancement
Starlink?
of, like we were talking about with our children being smarter? What about the advancement of human knowledge? Like with AI, we become, and with phones,
More
same
dependent?
thing. We become more knowledgeable. We fucking know a whole lot more, but we
know less.
We do less.
Yeah.
And we know less.
We're more
we,
dependent.
We
That's
think less.
yeah, we're
That's
more
the thing
dependent.
with phones is you say we know more, but we also know less because
That's my whole point.
before smartphones, how many phone numbers could you remember?
Oh, a lot.
All of them.
Yeah, that's
But
what I'm saying. We
interestingly-
think less
Yes.
because of these.
But at the same time, the other side of that coin is very much like talking to my kids about World War II. You can Google it, whether I'm reading it from a textbook in a class or I'm reading it at the kitchen table with my kids on a phone. It's interesting that the knowledge is readily available, which is great.
Which is great.
Yeah.
But what happens when you need critical thinkers?
Well, that's where parenting comes in, brother, and life
Paramedics.
and perspective.
You can't, in the middle of a car wreck scene, type up AI, hey, what do I do for this
You have
person?
seconds. And interestingly enough, a lot of people I said, being a paramedic and a fireman was probably the greatest thing I could have done to prepare me for business.
Sure.
One, nobody's dying. Two, I have 30 seconds or less to figure out how much that 4-year-old that's not breathing weighs.
Yeah.
And what they need to be breathing right now. Doc knows what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. And so when you're in the field and you've got a screaming parent and a not breathing 4-year-old, you got to think real quick and you got to be real smart.
Yeah, think
you
on
know
your
what I
feet.
mean? Yeah. So from that perspective, how do we harness that? How do we get kids thinking that way? Oh,
Yeah.
man, I don't know.
You don't want to lose the critical thinking
I'll
aspects, right?
add one more point to that.
Yes.
The team dynamics have to be in place before
Right.
the situation itself,
Right.
and have to be cultivated in a time that's
We
not
need
like
each
upheaval.
other.
Oh, so that's been
For
another...
the record, spoiler alert, we need each other.
That's a great point, and you're probably right in the middle of all this. But the big push from we can all work from home now. Technology is advanced. Internet connections are stable,
I'm at
reliable.
war with that. Get out of your house.
Yeah,
Exactly.
You cannot all work from
the
home.
creativity and the team element is gone because of that.
Right,
You're at home. You're not
Big
creative.
time.
You're not
Right.
involved with a
Big
team.
time.
So the big push is now get back in the office, get back at your work, and be creative and be part of the team because it's not working at home.
And look other people in the eye. You know, you got other humans. Yeah, just be present. I think it's a good point.
Yeah.
Yes.
How did we get here?
Plates.
Welcome to the show. We've only been doing this shit for 3 years. This is how it.
Well, thank you for
Have
finally
you listened
inviting
to one
me.
episode?
Okay,
by
no,
any chance?
listen. I told you I unfortunately don't have the ability to lie. I have not.
You have a lot of
Matt
time
is
on an
not
airplane.
a podcast guy.
No. And here's
It's okay to not be a podcast
listen,
guy.
I, with all of me, long to be a podcast guy. I have made great connections, and they're like, dude, you should listen to this podcast. It's going to be great. And I legitimately love it. I love audiobooks. I love podcasts. And everybody, I was having, again, this conversation, different context. Busy doesn't, it's like the word literally.
Sure.
Busy, it doesn't exist anymore. We're all busy.
Yeah.
But I mean, I legitimately find myself wanting to do something like listen to a Whiskey Bros podcast. And it's frustrating, and it makes me feel like a failure because I can't get to the point where I have 30 minutes to listen to
I was fixing to say, bro, I've been on vacation with you.
You ever seen me?
I don't think it's possible that you could stop for an hour to listen to a podcast.
I can't. I literally don't stop.
But
And, it's my curse.
and your establishments definitely bear some responsibility for what is happening at this table.
100%.
Whether it's conversations that have taken place
If that's
at
true,
your places
then-
with you, with your staff, whatever, it bears some responsibility. Which is what I want to talk about.
Cheers to that, by the way.
Cheers.
Cheers.
To my brothers, thank you.
Okay, I got another tough question.
God dang it! You interrupted me.
He's not going to let you.
You're railroading me.
Okay, go ahead.
No.
Go ahead.
Keep your tough question.
I'll keep it.
No.
I got it.
Well, what I want
Write
to
it
do
down.
is get into the weeds with whiskey and how we came to meet each other.
Okay.
And
So do we want to do the tough question?
Ask your tough question, then we'll go
tough
to
question
whiskeys.
first. Okay,
Yeah.
so
That's what editing's for, Chance.
we don't edit on the show, sir.
Please. And I'm really hoping that this question is not so tough, so we can make fun of you.
okay.
Do you remember that time he was like, I have this toughest question in the world? He's like,
I'm ready.
What's your favorite
Hey,
color?
Doc, me and you, baby. I love tough questions.
Yeah.
Go.
What's the most profound book you've
We're
ever
off to a
read?
good start. Well, the Bible. Come on.
The Bible, that's right.
Really? Why?
Well, I mean, here's the thing.
It's so profound you can't
I mean,
understand
people
it.
It's
people
so simple.
say that.
Heath, it's so simple.
Yeah, people say it
you
all the
can't
time,
understand it
but-
because it's
Okay, so
simple.
let me give my caveat. It is the Bible, hands down, and why it's not. I mean, it's the very reason I breathe.
That's right.
Okay.
And so let me just give you that. But I understand the heart of your question. But I mean, if we want to look at the Bible contextually, I mean, it's a roadmap. It's a roadmap for every instance that
100%.
we're going to have. And interestingly enough, I have a broad enough perspective to understand that not everybody's a Christian. You know what I mean? I have a lot
Sure.
of friends around the world that believe in a lot of other faiths.
Which doesn't matter. That's the cool thing about the Bible.
Well, see, and that's exactly it. The
Yeah.
Bible is still the same.
Yeah.
And so, whether it's Proverbs and you're looking for wisdom, or you want to understand why things are the way they are, or why are we constantly at war with ourselves?
Or if you just want to be a decent person.
Dude, it's
if you just
crazy.
wanna- it's
Yeah.
We've weaponized the Bible, Doc.
Yeah.
In a really nasty way. That's
I know so
yeah.
many people that wouldn't think about looking at it.
The Bible? Well,
Yep.
why though? You got to ask yourself why.
Man.
Here's the interesting thing, and
Man.
if I may, it has nothing to do with Jesus. It has to do with how people have
I agree,
weaponized
yeah.
the
Control.
Bible. Have y'all seen a
The
phenomenal
Book of
movie
Eli.
called The Book of Eli?
God, I was just thinking that. I love you so much. I love
So
you so much.
here's the thing. Why did he want he didn't want the Bible so he could be closer to Jesus. He wanted the Bible
Right.
so he could control people.
Yeah.
And so interestingly enough, we've weaponized it in a really gnarly way to judge each other, to do a bunch of gnarly stuff. But if you look at the Bible, if you look at Jesus, it's real simple. So for me, I mean, hands down, the Bible. But
Same
I always say there's
religion.
3 other books.
Same as religion.
You know what's interesting to me though is I don't like religion.
Nobody did. No, if
I don't like religion at all.
you're a
Religion is
person that-
rules made up by people.
And if you're a person that follows Jesus, you would also not like religion.
yeah, you would not
100%.
like religion
Yes.
at all. I mean, we call it Christianity.
So you
but
would say you're not Christian then?
no, I would say I am Christian. I would say
Yeah.
I'm not religious.
Not religious. Yes, 100%.
Yeah, I'm a Jesus follower.
Yeah, exactly right.
I'm not a Christian. I mean, I'm a Christian. I'm sorry. I'm not religious. Excuse me.
Mark.
Strike that. Reverse it. Another great movie. One of my favorite top 3. But that said, there are a few books that I always, in my industry, in business, I tell people to read Brene Brown, Rising Strong.
Yeah.
And that is a
book.
human book.
Yep.
We all walk through life with our own perspective. We can't help it.
Good.
It's rare that we stop and think about what's he thinking about right now. What's his experience in life? What's his experience in life? But we're just so self-indulged constantly that we give the very worst possible outcome to whatever instance we're looking at.
True story.
Brene challenges us with that ideology, and I think it's why she's so wildly popular. When people are exposed to the thought process, it's like, oh, I need to look at things differently, meaning every conversation.
Yeah.
So Rising Strong, Brene Brown.
It's a great one, too, because
you've read it.
She speaks on the level. Like, she speaks on a graspable level.
100%.
And you can immediately
it's so
relate
tangible
to what she's saying.
Well, and she's data-driven. She at the end of the day, she's an academic. And so she didn't approach the entire philosophy from like, hey, I kind of feel
it's well
this
grounded.
way. It's well-grounded.
Yeah, but that's what's so great about the Bible, though, is because, and what you just said, that may be the best way I've ever heard the Bible. And you didn't mean it, but you weren't saying this for the Bible, but it's a human book.
Yeah.
And if you take all what you think of religion out of your picture and just read it as a human book, that thing was written, I don't know, a shit ton of years ago.
I have a hard time. I know we keep hanging up on the Bible, but I have a hard time, and I try to do this, dispensing with my priors so that I can take Bible.
I would challenge that your priors are human-based,
100%.
not scriptural-based.
I agree. 100%.
No, and that's what I meant. If you were to, what I like about the Bible, though, is if you read it today in just this is a human book.
Yeah, just a book.
Yeah.
It was written so long ago, but if you read it today, it will help you today in today's.
No doubt. They just start with Proverbs.
But that's just it. We operate off of our understanding of what Scripture is and isn't. And that is not predicated on our reading of the Bible, but predicated on our experience with humans, which is really jacked up.
Yeah, because if you read it today, you're reading it with what you were just talking about with Doc is what you've been been told about what this
or what some
means,
really terrible person weaponized the Scripture to be in your life and like and you're like wait what? I thought Jesus was like loving. But Rising Strong.
Okay, but
Creativity Inc. Bob Iger.
Haven't read that.
Okay, so Creativity Inc. is a great book. It's the story of Pixar.
Okay.
And it's long, but it's also like the story of struggle and failure. Same thing, like if Toy Story didn't work, just like Walt Disney, like if Disneyland and Snow White didn't work, there is no Disney.
How long is the book?
It's a little long.
I'm trapping you here. So
it's a little long.
I'm trapping you. So what Matt's saying is he can read a long Pixar book, but he can't listen.
Do you want me to be honest? Hey, look, what did I tell you? I listened to the mess out of that book. I read parts of it. I went back and read the chapters that spoke to me, so I could if I hear something, I got it. If I read something, it helps kind of solidify it. If I write it down, done. Yeah. But and then there's a few other books that I really like, but Creativity Inc. and the Bible, and then there's Building a Story Brand. If you're a business person, it kind of gives you the principles of just humans and how we participate with things. And let's see. I mean, there's a few.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a few I really like.
So the only one that you were unaware of was the Bob Iger book.
No,
Building a Story Brand as well.
I don't have that one.
Okay,
but I've heard of Creativity Inc. I've not read it yet. Read it, listened to it, whatever.
In my industry, and everything takes holes because that's what we do. But Unreasonable Hospitality. It's a phenomenal book.
I've heard that was a phenomenal book.
11 Madison Park. It was basically their ascent from the number 50 restaurant in the world to the number 1 restaurant in the world. And why I like these books is because there's so many principles of hospitality and service. It's all human. It's just these different authors' iteration of that human interaction.
Yeah, and then that series on Hulu, The Bear.
Oh, come on.
Hey, it points to that. It points to that book.
He's Richie, cousin, is reading Unreasonable Hospitality in his kind of transition, if you will. Listen, y'all want to talk about something cool. That episode is so rad. When he goes and he has the whole I always tell this, it's like, what happened in that episode that was so special wasn't what happened in the restaurant, wasn't what happened at the Bear, it was what happened to Richie and how he saw himself differently. He's driving home singing Taylor Swift, feeling like he's never felt because of that experience. It's so cool what can happen, when someone allows himself to believe and someone else believes in them.
That's a good show. Have y'all watched the movie called The Menu yet?
That's totally different. No one's dying in this, dude.
But still.
Listen, I'm a Ray Fiennes fan, but that movie, come on now. I don't know what to take from that one.
I just long to hold cast iron in my bare hands. like hot cast iron.
Have you seen it, Heath?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right, yeah.
We're not preparing anything like The Menu, just so, spoiler alert.
You do make a cheeseburger.
Not out of human flesh, to my knowledge.
Yeah, you just said you didn't know what he was doing.
I'm confident it isn't that.
That's awesome.
We have all this beef in the freezer. Why isn't it getting used?
Yeah.
All right, so you want to talk about whiskey over there, Biggin?
Yeah. Are we done with the railroading?
Do you have any more hard questions for me?
I'm sure I do. I can come up with hard questions, but we can't roll on for like 6 or 7 hours.
We can,
but.
Well, don't challenge us. So we started at 4, so we've.
There's exhaustion for Matt's voice at this point for your poor listeners.
I know. I've still got to do audiobook reading. How did you discover whiskey?
Okay, this is actually great. How I discovered whiskey was 9 guys, and so my friend Ryan, my friend Daniel,
in a hot
Denton.
tub.
Oh man, I wish. God, that would have been better.
Sorry.
No. So just really good friends. Daniel Harris told me, he's like, "Hey man, we're just doing this little thing. It's a couple cool guys, and we all like whiskey, so we're going to start a club."
Okay.
And it started in Denton, probably 2012, maybe something like that. 9 guys sitting in a small apartment, and we started drinking Lafroig. So we had some whiskey, and I'm like, this tastes. My exact description was a Band-Aid taped to a burnt out clutch.
That is not.
Those were my tasting notes.
That is not an entry level drink.
It wasn't, but he wanted to kind of we tasted a few things, obviously.
Wanted to challenge you.
And Ryan Kirk.
Was this Ron?
Yeah, you know Ryan.
Oh, yeah.
So Ryan started that club. He knows what I'm talking about. And so he just loved it. You know what I mean? And he loved it because it's delicious, but he loved it more because he got to see the world and how he got to talk to other people about it. Ryan, wherever you are, Ryan, I think you're in Austin. I love you. But
we miss you.
Yes.
And so, interestingly, that was my introduction.
Okay.
And so, very quickly I made the bridge to coffee and just tasting and all these other things. We actually did a coffee and whiskey pairing in the basement of West Oak. And so, we did one as well, but that was the first one. And, super cool. And I just fell in love. I fell way off the deep end very quickly.
Okay. That was a little...
Lafroy started it all.
I'm shocked at Lafroy. I'm shocked that you even gave whiskey a second chance after Lafroy.
Well, it's delicious. I taste it now and I'm like, this is delicious.
That was your first?
Yeah. Well, no. Of course, I got drunk and passed out on Jack Daniels and threw up all over myself. But when I was 15 years old.
That was your gateway into the finer whiskeys.
Well, so here's what's funny. No, we tasted 4 or 5 things that night, but that's what stuck out.
Okay,
of course,
that's what stuck out, and that's what
stick out.
And it did.
Yeah, for a few days.
It made me super curious. Curious is a great word, by the way. I live every single day curious.
I still don't like it. I still don't like that or Lagavulin 16.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
I've not made that
I love you,
level of enlightenment yet.
So
I know they're probably good.
You like to taste things. So when you taste Lafroig and Lagavulin 16 are two entirely different things.
I own both bottles.
No, what I'm saying is I want you to approach the two.
Well, give me that 16 then.
Yeah.
Since you don't like it.
I'll take the Lafroy off your hands.
Come on. So here's the thing. I need you to taste them.
Okay.
Together.
Oh, God, wow.
Not together. I'm sorry. Don't mix them, please. Yeah. This ain't a suicide when we were playing Little League Baseball back in the day. I'm talking about taste them next to each other with some water, experience them. What's interesting about the Lafroig is you get, in my opinion, very humble opinion, you get all of Scotland in one glass.
It's a very,
so you get a little
very
salt,
complex.
You get a little vanilla, you get a little bit of the smoke, you get everything, and it's super balanced.
You get a lot of peach.
Lafroig is just going to punch you in the face with a bunch of delicious peaty flavors.
That's the thing. What's weird about Lafroig, and he don't like it, is I'm not a huge peat guy. I hate the...
all the things that I give you that have peat in them?
Yes. No. It's just, but I don't think
is your penis named Pete?
Lagavulin is not that. Like, it's not that bad.
No. It's got some smoke to it, right? It's obviously present.
That's why I said I don't know if I.
But
could try
it has vanilla. It has sea salt. It has everything you want.
You definitely have to try the Lagavulin first.
I do not disagree.
I would think.
These are very complex whiskeys, but it doesn't mean they're everybody's whiskey either.
Well,
that's what's beautiful about whiskey. Come on,
point.
That's the thing about all whiskey.
Yeah, right.
You got to find your cup of tea.
Yeah. I know what my cup of tea is, believe me. But I was the same with IPAs.
High-proof bourbon.
Handy.
I was the same with IPAs. I hated them forever, and then I finally just, at some point, have found the one. And then I had that moment of enlightenment.
A big thank you to Freddie No right now for this.
You don't like tequila.
Sponsors. I don't.
There's a lot of complex tequilas.
Well, no, I say I don't.
No, you do too.
What tequila did we have at the Super Bowl while we were drinking?
Oh, that was Fortaleza.
What, the Repo, the Añejo, Extra
I don't
Añejo?
know. The Blanco.
Really? So here's the thing.
It's pretty good, I'm not going to lie.
It was just sweet and clean. I mean,
life is better when you remain curious and you open up your ideas.
Yes.
Because I would say that
back
I
to
didn't.
men in a hot tub. Is this what's going on there?
It was by.
I can find my way back.
I can feel this branching into something deep right here.
But I'm telling you, tequila's the same.
So not too deep.
Oh my gosh! And now he's regretting the past 2 hours.
He's like, I waited.
Guys, I just got a text. I've got to go immediately.
Just remember, you waited 2 years to do this.
Well, I waited for an invitation, if I may.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's what it was.
But so tequila, right?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. If you approach everything open-handed and you look for something good, you're bound to find it. There's a little bit more than just tequila there for y'all. But tequila is interesting because now having been to Oaxaca and seeing the plants and met the farmers and stuff, it just like coffee changes everything. And so when they start talking about it passionately, multiple generation type stuff, and you see how the sausage is made, if you will, your understanding kind of opens up and closes these preconceived notions, opens up new thought processes. And I didn't think it would happen, but I like tequila.
Yeah.
I love mezcal, though. Come on.
Mezcal. I'm finding that I like mezcal better than tequila. There's just more going on there for me, I think. And then thanks to Chef Michael and him pairing, he brought red meat into the fray, and it's like, okay, this is love.
But you're talking about an experience.
Yeah. It's an
what I mean? Experiences change our perspective. We love to just sit back and not have any experiences, but a shit ton of opinions. Excuse me. Sorry, my kids told me not to say bad words. You know what I mean? But it is what changed your process, your thought process on that.
Absolutely. So how did you decide, well, if I'm doing a coffee bar, I better have a nice whiskey bar?
Well, business.
Hello, it says coffee bar.
Well, but interestingly enough, like, it's hard. Coffee is hard. You've got to think about it. Your average customer spending $5 to $10 maybe. Costs are through the roof. It's like, one, it was just opportunistic. You know what I mean? But two, as I thought, like, okay, how am I going to pay the bills?
Yeah.
It's like what was kind of cool, and I hope this doesn't sound insincere, but like, how do we connect with people all the time? And so if I'm a coffee bar, people aren't going to drink coffee at 9 o'clock at night, but hopefully they'll have a nice glass of wine or a cocktail, and that gives us an opportunity to serve them and create another opportunity for life.
Yeah. And
that was really inviting to me. So it started with, I need to capitalize on every square inch of this space and make it make sense monetarily, which supported our larger vision. So it was pretty easy.
Wow. Time travel. What do y'all remember as the early bottles there? I remember High West.
Why?
Are you talking to me or your phone?
No, I'm talking to you.
I'm asking what y'all remember. These two remember.
That's what I think it's
why High West?
Why High West?
The bottle shape.
Okay.
Labeling.
Like the pressed glass on it?
Yeah, the labeling.
The hammered glass.
And then the fact that it was an unknown. I'd never heard of that brand before.
Utah.
I was familiarized.
Come on, who would've thought?
I was familiarized with all of the, easy, accessible brands of whiskeys, but High West was completely new. There were a few others that you had on the shelf in the early days. I don't remember what they were, though.
Do you want to know what's funny? Is you probably could, and Heath might be able to name every single one of them, because this is what's funny. When we opened Trinity Street, I had no idea
what to stock the shelf with.
No, period. I had no idea. Let's just stop there.
Okay.
Like, literally, how is this community going to receive everything that we're doing? And I mean, if you'll remember, all of our people that were coming in, like, your shelves are literally empty. We had like a stuffed duck that someone brought in.
Well, no, because the first whiskeys on the bar were literally under the deer.
That was it, and we had nothing else.
No, there was absolutely nothing else.
Literally empty shelves.
Yes.
And it was kind of creepy, honestly. I was like, is this place open or closed?
But it's been awesome.
You guys got Coors?
Coors.
Oh, I get asked that daily.
Still?
And the answer is yes. Yes, we do have it.
Once upon a time, the answer was no.
The answer was no for a long time.
Yeah.
Also part of my journey, give the people what they want. Serve them.
A little bit.
You got to slap those hands.
Because it was cool because you guys were the first and still the only what I consider a cocktail lounge, if you will. So and I think that was a huge thing in y'all's business.
In the early days.
Was this was something cool that Decatur and Wise County's never even seen.
Well, and that was it. You could get a Coors a lot of different places, and we wanted to be somewhere different if you were looking for something different. That is very true.
And I think you still are, but you can still get a Coors there.
And that's just it. It's Pendleton, right? I got a lot of people coming in and like, hey, can I get a Crown? Can I get a Pendleton? And man, over the time, it just really rubbed me wrong to say no.
Yeah.
But to that point, we filled those shelves basically based on what we were talking to with the people on the other side of the bar.
Right.
That was it.
Yeah.
I don't remember what my first whiskey was there because that's been a lot of whiskeys.
There's been at least 7 whiskeys since then.
There was a point at least. There was a point though that there was nothing on the shelf that I have not had.
Right.
I don't know if I can say that today.
Interesting point for this conversation. We had over 300 whiskeys at one point.
Yep.
And after COVID, things did slow down, things changed and all that stuff. But now I can't keep up. I can't keep up. I can't replace the bottles as they're sold. Exactly.
Yeah. Availability has gotten better too.
So my homie Will, I'm like, man, I need some help. Come on, Ader Liquor, help me out.
You saw the rise and the fall of the secondary market too.
Oh, well, and I read something, I think yesterday, that was I didn't know that whiskey's like crashing or whatever. The bourbon boom is dying.
I hope it is.
It's going to be tequila and...
Well, the agaves have been on the rise.
The agave
There's no
stuff
doubt
for a while.
That's what I'm
people
hoping.
are exhausted with paying $1,000 for a bottle of bourbon. You know what I mean?
That should be $60.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and that's what I'm hoping.
Yeah,
I'm hoping tequila comes along and
200 at most.
Yeah, there's a few $200 worthy bottles.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, the entire antique series is $129.
Yep.
That's what it is. MSRP. Ain't nobody paying $129 for an antique.
But
nobody.
Guilty as charged, man. I've had a lot of fun hunting bourbons. And
and that's just it. It's a hobby, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
an expensive one, though.
not a joke. Yeah, not a joke.
But it's for sharing. That's what's so fun is half of our more expensive bottles at times. My team's looking at me like, hey, that looks a little lower. And I'm like, man, I had a friend in. Or someone was asking a question, and it's like, what's this for at the end of the day?
Yeah.
So
I ain't taking any of it with us.
I can't remember my first bottle, but I can remember my favorite bottle.
Oh, there we go.
What is that?
Amarath.
Oh, but because that was made from angel and unicorn tears. That was like one of one.
And I think God blessed it a little bit.
He just went like, he stuck his pinky in it.
Good. God, it was so good.
And you two still think that way about the 4 grain, and y'all are totally wrong.
4 grain's
on that.
amazing too. Yeah,
it's amazing.
Their Amarath
Chance,
is
listen,
special.
it's okay that you're wrong.
Just accept it, bro. Just accept it.
I do not accept this.
I can't point to a whiskey like a bottle.
But I can guarantee you I know what your drink is.
Yeah.
Boot store.
Boot store changed my life. It literally changed my life.
I remember him ordering that night. Like, I want this. This is like a boot store, and we're all like,
and it's funny because not even. And this is Big Josh we're talking about.
Okay.
It was actually
drink.
Casey.
I thought it was Josh.
No, it was Casey.
Casey, okay.
Yeah.
Casey knows his way around.
But nobody can remember what the hell the drink was.
Really?
No.
I think it must have been like an early rendition of Mr. Rogers Goes to Nam, which is back on the menu, right?
As it always is.
What? Well,
except for it isn't.
Yeah,
So,
you can always take
so for me, boot store. Okay, so this was a drink. Casey was going to a competition in London.
Sure, he was going to London. Yeah.
A mixology competition. He was developing his drink for the competition.
He's so freaking good.
And so it was not yet named. He was still like monkeying with it.
Yeah.
But he gave it to me, and it was the first time I realized that something through taste could literally transport you to a different place.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so that's what like this drink transported me to a boot store. And it was
also that was probably
special,
nuts.
dude. That's special though.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's probably the first time that you realized when people called somebody a mixologist that it wasn't just a bullshit, dude. You're just a bartender.
Yeah, true story.
You're making
true
art.
story. Yeah.
Because, and that's what I used to tell people about. They'd ask me like, "Why do you go to Trinity Street all the time?" And I was like, "Well, there's a little difference. I can make you a drink.
Yeah.
These dudes are creating something that I've never had before."
And to support that, the amount of let's just stick on the Casey thing, the amount of time and energy and authentic love that dude put into what he was trying to do.
Yeah.
He never once did he say, I think this is going to help me win the competition.
Right.
He was just so excited about what he was making and moreover to share it with you.
Yeah.
And so
that's what I liked about the more of the older days, if you will. Is I can't tell you how many times we've walked in there and like, hey, you guys got to try that. They still do that.
I was going to say, Chris and Jason and our crew right now,
they're
man.
just not as much.
I feel like
but I don't think that they're going.
We're
to these
busier too.
Yes, yeah.
We are a lot
it was
busier
just like,
these
man,
days.
you got to try this. Tell me what you think. And they really wanted to know, like the 100. Like, what do you like?
Yeah.
They wanted to know where that's taking you. Is that boot store?
Yeah, does it make you feel anything?
Yeah.
Remember
That
anything?
was cool about it.
No, it was kind of the first place I felt like I could show up and be like, okay, make me a drink.
Make me
what you want to.
And we used to do that all the time.
Yeah.
What do
Well,
you guys
and
want?
make no mistake about it, we want that now.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, and that's hearkening back to why we started here in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We want people to come in and feel like it's their place and feel like they're seen and served. You know what I mean? It's called hospitality.
Well, that's what
we're not going to be perfect. We're not going to be perfect.
That's what
but we're sure going to try.
That's what the
Are you crushing something over there?
Yeah.
I'm just getting rid of some trash. Everybody calm down.
Jeez, trashy consumerism.
I was going to say
right
that's
there.
what the Whiskey Bro sign or cutting board says.
Yeah.
Something about home. I can't remember exactly what it says.
It was the line from Cheers.
Oh,
Each person.
So many great references
No, it
in this
wasn't.
podcast.
It was the line from.
I'm the one that made it.
Yeah.
And had
It's not Cheers,
produced.
though.
Yes, it is from Cheers. It's Norm from Cheers. Kelsey.
where
Kelsey
everybody
Grammer's,
knows
yeah.
your name.
Not Norm.
Yeah, not Norm. Sorry. What was his character's name?
You're the one who wrote
Jeez,
it.
we're
bro.
down a rabbit hole now.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, we're gonna be
So
here
many
forever.
people come in and out of our lives and blah blah blah. Famous.
But what's interesting
Yes.
about that is, aren't we all seeking for some version of Cheers in our life where we get to be seen and comfortable and known?
That's true.
Oh yeah, not me. I don't give a shit about.
No, you do too in your
Yeah, you
T-shirt
do.
with your Care Bears. You do too.
Call bullshit.
If you
on
didn't,
that.
you wouldn't be in
Yeah.
Trinity every day. I'm calling your bluff.
Well, that's just because y'all got good shit.
Wow.
And every once in a while, every once in a while I get free
Me neither,
stuff,
Matt.
Every once in a while.
I don't believe that for a second.
His name
I
was
don't believe
Kramer,
that For a
right?
second.
You don't believe what? Oh, him over there?
Yeah.
Oh, come
Nah,
on. No.
I could care less.
He's so full of it. Ain't nobody buying it.
You're not going to
Are
find
you,
the
are you
quote.
still looking?
I'm gonna
for
find the quote. Wasn't his name? No, it's Frasier.
Frasier.
Because they did.
Because remember they
spin-off.
did the show Frasier. Yeah.
See, I thought it was the song
Who the
from
hell was Kramer?
I think
Kramer's from Seinfeld.
Seinfeld.
Ah, that's right.
He
Yep.
got in trouble.
Great
He got-
character.
yeah.
We might not want to use his quotes.
No.
Oh,
don't
is he
quote
in
that
trouble
guy.
now?
No, he was.
He was
I didn't
in
know
big trouble
anything.
about in the old black community.
Oh, I don't know anything about anything. That's the beauty of being completely and totally off of social media.
Yeah, that's right. That's where you should
Ignorance.
Oh,
live.
so
is bliss.
do you
Where
live that
should
way?
live.
100%.
Wow.
As we were talking about before, there is a Facebook page that I have not had access to in over 12 years or
So it's
more.
still activated.
I've never
somehow?
been on social media, so people are constantly like, hey, and I'm like, yeah, you're not going to find me. And that's a personal choice, not a judgment.
Yeah.
It's just a personal choice.
Why is that?
It's a distraction. I don't
Okay.
believe in it. I think that life is really beautiful and really hard. And I think that when we just put out there the best versions of things, we're being a little inauthentic. And I think
Okay.
that makes it really hard to participate with in an authentic
That's
way.
definitely been leveled as a critique against social media.
When all of the industry titans of social media do not allow themselves or their kids on social media, I think that's fairly telling.
Valid
Nice.
point. Yeah.
Chance, we believe you. You don't have to find it.
I'm going to die on this hill, bro.
Chance.
We'll do it
We'll
after
just go
the
to Trinity
podcast.
Street and read the thing.
Say something profound while you're looking for the quote.
We believe you.
So what could
You've
social
never
media-
seen a person
Okay,
naked until you've removed their skin.
So for yourself,
Okay, Silence of the Lambs. Duff, immediately, please. What were you asking?
this is
I totally forgot what I was going to say.
I
Thank you.
just threw him for
Yeah.
a loop. And then
You said
Blew his
social
mind.
media. You said,
okay. I was saying,
You asked me for
so
something
obviously
profound.
it's not for you, but why does it exist? And could it offer something decent?
Oh, there's absolutely no doubt, like all tools, let's just use money. Money is a tool.
Yeah,
Social media is
okay.
a tool.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful tool that can be used for a whole lot of good. We, when given the opportunity, tend to corrupt it. So social media connects the world in an instant. I absolutely love that I can get in touch with my folks in Uganda in 2 seconds via WhatsApp.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's incredible.
Can't
but
you
how,
do that with just the phone, though?
No, not necessarily, because that's expensive, and they have to pay for phone.
yeah.
You know what I mean? WhatsApp specifically allows us.
Are you saying WhatsApp?
WhatsApp?
Yeah, WhatsApp.
I don't know what this is.
It's an app.
WhatsApp, and that's awesome because no matter where I go in the world, everyone's like, "What's your WhatsApp?" And it's basically like texting and calling over Wi-Fi.
okay.
So in most instances, they can find some access, even limited access, and it allows us to communicate. So from that perspective, I think social media is an incredible tool. I think money is an incredible tool. It's just we just have really gnarly ways of using it sometimes.
And we're all slaves by it.
We can be if we allow ourselves to be.
Most certainly, yeah.
But for me, it's like that's why I don't have social media.
Yeah, I got you. It's a personal choice.
I've
I
watched
like it.
people just like look at it and be like, man, this person's so happy. They're doing this. They're doing that. My life sucks. And I'm like, dude,
and
what you're looking at isn't reality.
Right,
And
no.
2, your life doesn't suck. It's just life.
Yeah. Oh, did you finally find it?
That's not it.
That's the quote.
Time
Don't
goes
tell me that's
by
not-
so fast. Quotes.
You're supposed to read the quote.
Yeah.
Well, there's
What does
like
it say? They can't
there's
read
Right
it.
here.
There's 14
right here,
of them
in
up
the
here.
center of the screen.
Oh, okay. Time goes by so fast. People go in and out of your life. You must never miss the opportunity to tell these people how much they mean to you.
Are you sure that's it?
That's not the quote.
That's not
Hey,
the
bro.
quote.
with all the love in my heart, that's not the quote.
No.
Who's going to be at the
That's
shop
not
right
the
now?
quote.
Is anybody at the shop?
No,
listen,
it's
I'm going to
closed.
tell you what the quote is. What's the... I introduced us to these people.
Paid for it and had it
I'm telling you, it's
laser
different.
engraved on the board.
This is not the quote.
That is
Hey.
the quote.
Listen,
No.
I'm gonna
What's the
as a
group?
friend, I'm gonna advise you to reopen your idea on what
Yes.
the quote may or may not be. Chance.
What's the group? I introduced us to this group of songs. Were God almighty, I can't think of it.
You have a picture of this somewhere in your archives. I know you do.
All right, that is the quote.
It's not the quote.
And if it isn't, I'm buying everybody at this table a shot of Thomas Handy.
It's
at
on.
Trinity.
Okay.
But I'm not
If it
going to
is-
charge you
if
for it.
is-
So ultimately, I'm.
If it is the quote, everybody buys some. Oh, that's a lot of Thomas Handy. I mean, a couple of cocktails for
I'm
me.
making a phone call right now. You shut your mouth.
Who's going to be there right now?
Nobody.
Yeah.
Heath, nobody's there.
Yeah.
Sunday after 4:00, so everybody's.
That is 100% the quote.
I feel confidently it isn't.
It's not the quote.
I am the one who had the thing.
I'm just
made.
telling you. I look at it most days.
Man,
Dude.
I know you've never been on this podcast before.
We're
Matt.
talking about-
This has not happened. This has happened before.
We're talking about the piece of black
Where
walnut.
he's dug in.
Right? Piece of black
I'm
walnut.
looking for it now.
Laser engraved
It literally says Whiskey Bros on
the
it.
bottom
Yes.
of it, yes. And then a quote.
Now this
It ain't that quote.
might be some. There might be some in there, but that's not the quote. I can't wait to get some. How much Thomas Handy do you have?
I have a fair amount.
We're going to need a lot.
We're gonna get some.
Yeah.
We'll drive there after this.
Yes, we
yeah.
will.
Somebody's got to stop in there.
Yes.
It's on the way.
Okay. You heard it first.
Oh, we're like on hour 5. These people are definitely upset about hearing me continually.
2.5 hours.
Nobody's upset.
2.5 hours.
Hold on. I'm still looking for it.
What are you
Doc's
looking
got the
for?
glasses out. He's
Looking for the
serious,
cutting
man.
board.
I mean, he's not gonna be wrong on this one.
Oh, yeah, there is a picture of him and I holding
That's
it.
what I said.
Oh.
What did I say?
That's going to be on Insta.
All right. Well, let's find it after the podcast because it's getting long.
Heath, what do you want to talk about? There it is.
Crickets.
Yeah.
We've talked
What-
about everything.
What was your... okay,
have
so
them.
in 2017, the founding of the Whiskey Bros,
Yeah,
I did not like whiskey
that's fair.
until somebody brought in a bottle.
Not in 2017. You like whiskey then.
No, don't tell... Okay, you're telling me what...
That's twice.
No, I didn't like whiskey. Period. to the degree of sipping on it.
You drank it in a Coke, right?
Yeah.
Jack and Coke.
Yeah, Jack.
Whiskey.
There was
and
no
Coke.
appreciating it or understanding it.
Okay.
Well, yeah, that's right. Okay,
until y'all showed up to
you were
the log house.
Wine and beer fag only.
Oh, okay. It's on the no-no list, Heath.
What?
Way to go, bro.
Wine and beer?
Fag.
Oh, fag. You can't say that.
Unless
Can't
you're
say
saying
fag.
fagly.
Yeah, that's what you meant to say,
That's
right?
what
Technically, a fag is like a cigarette.
Cigarette, Lucy.
It is a cigarette.
We have had British
fair.
people on here. They can account for that.
That's true.
But no.
So you didn't like whiskey.
Elmer T.
2017.
Lee. They brought in a bottle of Elmer T.
That was
Lee.
his
and it
gateway.
was.
I have a bottle of that at my house I haven't opened because I haven't seen that in like 3 years.
Will's getting it all the time.
Elmer T. Lee.
Yeah.
Get out.
He just got it on his last, not this allocated, but the last allocated.
I haven't. Then I need to chat with him because we haven't had Elmer T. Lee in Trinity in I don't know how long.
Allocated.
I just heard $1,000.
Picture from, speaking of the maestro himself.
Look
right
at
there,
that.
Casey
Hey,
back
look
there.
at him back
There
there.
he is.
Yeah. And a bottle.
Look at
a
that
box of-
short beard. What was wrong with
Look at
you?
all- look at
Where
all
is
those
that
stuff.
dude at?
Remember
right
that one
now?
time we brought a box of ammo into it?
those are cigars.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. That was ammo. We're
When you
going
get
way back.
Ammo cigars.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm not finding the picture. Did you delete it?
Oh, look at this.
He probably did. Look at that guy.
Look at the not
guy.
gray hairs that used to
there
have.
it is. It's in the background
Yep, that's the one. Okay.
with the quote that Chance got wrong.
Yep.
Yeah.
How funny.
So much experience we've had at Trinity.
Oh,
There's
well.
not at the time, but my wife now. That's one of her favorite pictures.
There's old Matt in the picture right
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
there. Is that my mom?
That's your mom, bro.
I see Mama Dorothy.
There she is.
Oh, there was the first Valentine's event at Trinity.
Look at that. One kid and so many things since.
Yeah.
Since the spaghetti dinner that we shall all
Dude,
remember.
you were so thin then.
What are you talking about?
Dang.
Still thin, bro.
Oh, whoa, go back up. What's that guy on the left there? No, with the mohawk. Down, right there.
Oh,
Look at
God.
that guy.
That was the last time I was in Steamboat, Colorado, and I had gotten that was the last time I got the flu real bad. And that was like the only day I felt good.
Oh my gosh, that hair! We got to bring it back.
There's
Uh-oh.
a
Coco.
There's Coco's and asleep.
He's not doing so well. The bartender didn't cut him off.
His eyes are not open.
Yeah.
Oh, there's more pictures through here.
But
This
he
is
had a
going way
ride.
back.
Uh-oh.
There's
right.
Dusty.
Dusty.
Yeah.
There's Dust. Yeah.
That was before.
Nicole with my hat. Duck
Look at that
lips.
short hair.
I know.
Chance.
Babies. Just a bunch of babies.
Babies, yep.
Yeah, we were all young there.
No more. Those days are gone.
Listen,
I
where
thought there
is-
was.
I don't
Be
think
continued on
Yeah.
everybody knowing
Yeah, to
chances
be
were gonna
continued.
be
You couldn't
wrong.
find the picture either?
I couldn't.
Okay.
Listen,
We'll
if
find
you
it.
really need to know what it says coming to Trinity Street, it's
Oh,
on
Read
there
it.
you
Read
go.
it for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Read it with
and
your
you will
own
know
eyeballs.
that Chance was right.
Somebody's going to be buying some handy.
Ain't no doubt
Yeah.
about that.
Y'all are way too confident.
I
Listen,
I don't understand
That's
this.
not what it says.
This okay? If it's not, then this is one of those moments like the what's the guy from Africa?
Wookie foot.
No, where we
Wookie
Ruben, did
That's
you
the
talk
band
about
I'm
Ruben?
talking about. We're all together. We're all from here. What's
Who was the famous leader from Africa?
Yeah.
They call it the
What's that
Mandela.
song called?
Nelson
Mandela, okay,
This is
okay.
the Mandela effect, where I have moved into a different universe, and I really don't know y'all, and that is a different quote on that board.
It's
If
a
that's-
different quote.
if that
You
quote
could have
is-
gone with Avengers. That's
Make
fine.
up your own story.
Okay, Doctor Strange. The multiverse.
Is it Berenstein or Berenstain?
I don't know.
Berenstein. Yeah. The whole.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's so many of those.
We got completely diverted.
Yeah, I think we should just wrap it up.
We do this. It tends to go down rabbit holes.
I mean, we've covered all of our objectives.
What,
I mean,
what-
all right.
what
So
are
if we're
objectives?
gonna wrap it up,
Okay.
Trinity Street
Sure.
Coffee Bar.
right?
Why are you slamming the table?
Kimzey's Coffee.
He's making a point.
Kimzey's.
He hates
Is
this.
it just called Kimzey's?
Just Kimzey's coffee.
Kimzey's Coffee in
Argyle.
Still do
Argyle.
donuts?
which is
No.
amazing.
Oh, man.
The building reminds me of Hobbits. The Hobbits. It's got a sweet fireplace. And
It does. Couple of them.
It's a pretty cool spot.
Very
It's cool.
unique.
That whole area is cool. You got some
Yeah.
like a outdoor
Well,
shop. Or
you
is it
used
still
to.
there? Or is it
Yeah,
not
it ain't there anymore.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And then
as it happens.
West Oak.
West Oak.
Which
Ben
had it-
Rollins from,
it-
we're expanding West Oak, interestingly, to put a craft cocktail bar upstairs.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Finally. Jeez.
10 years later.
I've been talking about building that for a long time.
Yeah, you have.
It's
But
been vacant upstairs.
For a long time.
Wow. Okay.
Brother, that building was built in 1882. I don't know the last business that was upstairs.
What are y'all doing downstairs now that it's all...
It's just office, storage,
junk?
walk in, all the things. Nice. Yeah, it's just kind of... Eventually, I've got some plans that I would love to do a little Mezcaleria down there.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. A little speakeasy situation.
That'd be awesome.
But, one thing at a time.
Hey, just get it done, dude.
It takes money.
Just get it done.
I'll put you on the spot right now. Are you going to carry our Sotal there in your Mescalia?
That's a silly...
How do you say that?
Silly question.
Mescalia?
It's a silly question.
Okay.
Of course we will.
Yes.
But you know what?
I'm going to call it Tequila Bar.
The upstairs is going to be fun, right? It's going to be different. Again, Denton has bars, but we want to do something different up there. We've been working on it for a really long time.
Yeah.
So, we need more seating there. We have for a long time, but we want to do it. We want to do it kind of on our terms in a way that we think the community would like.
Okay.
But speaking of seating, you said back in our question of how'd you come to Decatur, that there was a random white dude that told you about Decatur, but
he covered that.
Yeah.
But you literally have an entire bowling alley lane.
Oh, true story. Interestingly enough,
at
West Oak.
I have, and that is a fact. Our banquette, where everybody sits every day, is the old Decatur bowling alley. We love to reuse, repurpose, recycle.
The wood that you throw your ball down, they literally took it up, and it's the whole left wall.
Okay, I didn't know that was from Decatur. I thought it was
Decatur
from
bowling alley.
the one out east of Denton.
No,
my brothers, the Hayhurst, they are like, hey, I got some unique idea. Interestingly enough, West Oak Coffee Bar was their first project.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
They did well. No wonder they've established themselves because
they're just as talented as it comes.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm very jealous.
One of them moved to Panama.
Seth moved to Panama. Yeah.
I'm very jealous of people that have vision like that. Like, who the f can walk into an empty, vacant spot and go,
yeah,
an old bowling alley lane is going to kill right
there. And if
there.
you would have, so legitimately, if you would have seen that building when we got it, the last thing it was Sherman Shoes in the 80s. When we got it, it was completely full. The owners of McBride Pawn owned our building.
Okay.
So it had 100 acoustic guitar cases, 3 or 4 hover rounds. It was filled 3 levels of just stuff that they had bought at estate sales and everything. Just put it in there. It hadn't been in business in forever. So when I walked in, I'm like, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. It's absolutely beautiful. And everybody else walked in like, this is vile. You need to not do this building.
It's kind of like Lefroy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so when I found Jake, that's a crazy story, but when I found Jake and I walked him in, he's like, this place is so beautiful. And of course, he started drawing the renditions. We found old pictures and, it was an awesome project. To this day, I'm super, super proud of it. But it was a funny journey, you know what I mean? And what we basically did was just took everything out and just saw how beautiful it was all on its own. Sometimes it's simple, you know what I mean? Don't make it hard.
To those that have that capability. I'm usually with those who are like,
it's a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing and a curse, that's for sure.
Yeah, there's definitely a gift that some people have.
So this journey for you has been difficult and revealing.
Very true.
In ways you could not have. It's been transformational.
Absolutely.
Right?
Good word.
Okay. So does the difficulty bring the transformation and do you see a future where that stops?
No,
it's like
I don't
where
see a future where
it.
that stops. Absolutely not. Every day that I'm blessed to be awake is another opportunity to learn something new, without doubt. I feel a 1,000,000% on that. But the journey the journey itself brings perspective as I look at it.
Okay.
And so because we can't know everything or be exposed to everything, it's just a constant evolution. Depending, the variable is, or the governor, if you will, is our own understanding of what that is.
Okay.
Our participation with it. So if I'm in an open posture, then I get an opportunity to continually learn and experience something new. But once I think that I understand something, then I close the door. The door doesn't close, I close it.
So what is success in your book?
It's definitely not monetary. I mean, for a chance to say that part of this, a small part of this, was born out of something that we did, I mean, none of this stuff we're going to take with us, right? It's all going to stop at some point. But what will remain? Let me give you an example. I've talked to a lot of people about their experience with what we do. Very rarely do they talk about coffee or this or that. It's about a feeling that they have or a memory that they have. And those are the things that I think, as long as you remain open to those, then they'll continue to grow. But if you make it about something else, it'll just be about that.
Dang. That's deep.
That's much more profound than what I had to say earlier.
Don't ever give me a mic, man. All this stuff is just going to be like, wow.
We need to give you a mic more often.
Pretty amazing closing remark right there.
Yeah. Well, hey, listen, I'm so grateful to y'all and what you've done, and just appreciating what we've put out there, and to see you guys in regularly. It's, not only are you allowing for people to pay their bills and do what they love, but you're pouring into a community, and that just, it's rare, and I'm super grateful to be a part of it.
That is the essence of Trinity Street, and I gave that in my homage to where, unfortunately you were probably dead. Yeah, but that was the homage that I gave, is like, your community happens here. There's businesses, there's couples, there's heartache, there's love, there's trials and tribulations that everybody seeks shelter from.
We need each other, man.
Yeah.
In a world that's completely divided, where if you wear one color or the other, you vote one way or the other, we don't like each other. In a world, we need each other. We need each other real bad.
Beans and chili.
Well, I'll tell you this. Anthony had a great quote. We all respect him, but he said, I don't have to agree with you to like or respect you. And that's something I think we all need to remember.
That's an even better way to close it.
That's right. But you also got to be okay with me calling you an idiot.
That's what they call tough love.
I can respect your ways, but I can also call you an idiot.
I love you, Savage, bro.
You and Red Foreman.
That's right.
Well, thank you for having me on. It's been an honor.
I'm glad we finally got you an invite here.
Well, thank you for inviting me finally. I keep asking Heath, when's my chance?
When do I get he's been asking me for a year and a half. I've just been lying to you guys, saying it's his.
Sorry, bro, we're too busy. But thanks for being here for real, man.
Heck yeah, bro.
What a joy.
Yeah, we'll get you on again.
I'd love it.
Yeah, for sure.
I would love it.
Great half decade of knowing you too. So
what a blessing. Thank you.
Cheers. Love you, man.
Love y'all. Thank you so much.
Good.
Thank you for listening.
See you in the morning.
Adios. Man, that was fun.
You've been listening to the Whiskey Bros Around the